Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, you're listening to World Combat Sports. Salute everyone that's in the chat. Hit the like button when you're in the building. Hopefully, everybody's enjoying their Friday. I just want to come back on and touch bases on a few topics of discussion that's real heavy right now that everybody's talking about. Number one, you know, um, Thomas Moreland, what's good? Javante Davis, word is he's exceeding the 225,000 plus PPV buys, which in my opinion is a success for someone who just stepped in and basically, did what they were supposed to and get the job done. That's what you're looking for in a fighter, y'all. That's what you're looking for in PPV. We would consider that a success for your first PPV and also in the process of him dropping down in weight and getting the job done, ending the fight in devastating fashion and putting on a show. What does this mean? So let me take you back to one of the sources that has been out, thus far. Mike Carpenter, you know who he is. He said Javante Davis, Leo Santa Cruz, Showtime PPV is expected to generate between 200,000 and 225,000 buys. Exceeded expectations. Good showing for Tank, who was making his PPV debut with that viral KO of Davis, should be able to build off of it. That goes without saying. You can't ask for anything more. Now, of course, I have to mention and be fair that he had a dance partner in Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz also attributed to Tank Davis having those buys. You have to have a solid dance partner in there, but also you have to have that stardom. You have to have that popularity with the fans. You have to have enough to bring everybody to the table. If they're tuning in via PPV, they can sit at home and they can watch. And it was enough Tank Davis fans to come out here and support. It was enough Leo Santa Cruz fans to come out and support. You know what I'm saying? And also they had a partial live gate with about 9,000, I believe, plus 9,000 that was in attendance. It was a different type of setting that I'm used to. Seeing the arena, spaced out and everything, practicing whatever it was, social distancing and stuff like that. But the vibe was good. The energy was good. And it was one of those headliners that once again people was going 50-50 because they really didn't know who to pick. You know what I'm saying? They really didn't know who to go with at the time. A lot of Mexican fans were saying that Leo Santa Cruz had what it take to go in and stop Tank Davis. Hey, I don't blame him for, assuming because Leo Santa Cruz was a 4 division champ. I don't blame them for what they believe will happen because think about it. Tank Davis is a 2 division champion. Leo Santa Cruz had much more experience than Tank Davis. He was much more in a light of boxing respected than Tank Davis. So therefore, of course, they was betting that Leo Santa Cruz, who only had one loss on his record, go in there and defeat Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? People's looking at him as being a tank at the junior lightweight division. But also they was looking at him as not having discipline in between fights. And, we never seen Leo Santa Cruz in any type of situation outside of the ropes, especially leading up to that fight with his father and everything. He had been going through a lot. So I'm telling you, I even mentioned that Leo Santa Cruz is fighting for a different purpose on that night. And I truly believe he was. But when it comes down to raw talent, when it comes down to that power, when it comes down to an individual like Tank Davis, You have to respect him. You're going to have to respect him, especially if he continue to win. It's not hard. It's definitely not hard to respect Tank and his ability to go in there and get the job done. He can definitely box. He has the amateur pedigree. And you have to look at him as being one of those fighters that's a little bit close to Mike Tyson-esque. Just he has the power, but it falls a little short, with what we were used to seeing back then with the demolition that Tyson used to delegate. You know what I'm saying? Tyson used to delegate the intimidation factor by just leaving the dressing room and walking to the ring. That's what Mike Tyson did, man. You was like, damn, man, it's so much build up for Tyson's ring walk. And he's saying, that's a killer right there. I can't wait till he get in the square. And then the referee instructions, Mike Tyson staring at his opponent. He was one of those individuals that you knew that was going to give you what you was looking for. That's the same thing we can say with Tank Davis. I know at this time, with the PPV success, 2.25 plus, people are going to overlook it and say, well, he's in trouble again. But I'm really talking about boxing, because it's going to come a time where Tank is going to have to, man up, mature, take responsibility when he's outside those ropes, and don't place himself in a situation with more problems come with more money. More problems, more money. You know what I'm saying? We have to look at that in a perspective where somebody have to step in and have a one-on-one, a heart-to-heart with Tank, because he has damn good promise to be one of the best in the sport. But people looking at it right now like, damn, I'm just optimistic on the flow of what direction he's going to go in if he's not fighting. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to expect from this cat. Like, I love seeing him in the ring. He's a savage. He's a beast. He gives you the entertainment value that he's looking for. He ain't trying to play it safe. The dude can box. He has high ring IQ, and he's tough, man. He has a chin. Gervonta Davis is absolutely a star in the sport. Then outside of that, when you leave the lights and you head away from the arena and you did what you're supposed to do, you have earned another victory. That's when fans are going to look at Gervonta Davis and say, okay, we understand that you have the ability for 2.25 PPV vibes. We understand that you have the ability to be that cash cow, that star. That's without question. You're underneath one of the best to ever do it in the sport, period. We know that. Floyd Mayweather is going to try to hang on the Tank as long as he possibly can. But in light of him leaving the arena and going on about his business, it comes to this conclusion right here, man. Not another situation, dog. Not another situation. I want to give a salute out to Leo Santa Cruz for getting off the canvas. I hope we don't see him back anytime soon. Take some time off. You had a brutal knockout. And not only did you get knocked out, but your head hit the canvas also. We all know when heads hit the canvas, that's a whole nother story right there. So that contributes to the punishment from you being knocked out, and then you receive another type of impact of your head touching the canvas. So therefore, I hope Leo Santa Cruz and his people say, hey, Leo, I think it's best for you to take time off. It's best for you to take that time off. That's only right. Now for Tank Davis, let's get cooking. Gervonta Davis, man, he has so many options in the palm of his hand. Gervonta has so many options in the palm of his hand that I'm just curious to know who he's going to select. I can take a guess, with 24-0, 23 knockouts. We can take a guess who he's going to select. He's going to go where the money at. A lot of people need to understand how that actually works in the sport of boxing. You really need to look around and see some of the fighters that we've seen growing up in their prime or their competitive edge, and now that they're returning to the sport when they've been out the sport for quite some time. So why not encourage Gervonta Davis to make the most money as possible, y'all? Encourage that man to make the most money as possible. He has to go with the top dogs is going to generate the fan base. Who can we attribute? Who can we select and say it'll be a good fight? And then, it's not only the fan base, but then you have to look at who are the promoters behind these fighters. How easy or difficult will it be to get these fighters linked up together? And then what we're going to do? Where's the fight going to be? And what each fighter is getting paid. So, of course, we have the top 3 dogs in the lightweight division. All right. We're talking about if Tank chooses the 135-pound division lightweights. We have Devin Haney. We have Teofimo Lopez. We have Ryan Garcia. And Ryan Garcia is pending. He wins the bout with Luke Campbell. We have 3 top-tier names that can generate pretty decent numbers. But when it comes to the mentality of Floyd Mayweather, he's not just trying to generate decent numbers. Floyd Mayweather is trying to generate over-the-top numbers. He's trying to generate those numbers that make people think like, damn, I got to hurry up. Where did they go? Where did they go? Hey, somebody get on the phone. We got to get that fight. We just have to get within the proximity and have them notice us to be able to try to step in the ring for that paycheck. Floyd Mayweather wants the chase to be about Gervonta Davis. He wants people to be looking and searching and calling whoever it is they need to get in contact with to step in the ring with Gervonta Davis. So he's not looking for decent numbers. I mean, he received decent numbers with Leo Santa Cruz. 2.25 is decent numbers. And yes, that was higher than the Charlo brothers. I'm keeping it 100. It was higher than the Charlo brothers. A lot of people are going to say that Leo Santa Cruz was a part of that. Of course he was. You know what I'm saying? Of course Leo Santa Cruz was a part of that. Of course. But Gervonta was a big part of that too, because he brings Mayweather with him to the dance. That man bring Mayweather to the dance, people. It's no way you're going to deny that. It is absolute truth. No matter how many times you try to page forward in another chapter and don't want to see Mayweather part of the equation, he's going to be a part of the storyline until they separate. And right now, I don't see that happening like a Canelo Alvarez and Golden Boy. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Gervonta leaving the ship. I don't see it, people. I do not see Gervonta abandoning and jumping overboard to get away from Mayweather Promotions right now. I don't see it, especially after that hug he gave Mayweather. He big up Mayweather at the press conference. And then, we can say what we want on the virtual workout. It sucked. I ain't gonna lie, because Mayweather made it all about him. It sucked. I know Tank Davis was looking at that like, damn, this virtual media day is about me, but Floyd made it about him. But when it come down to the performance, Floyd Mayweather was on the sidelines. He was watching. Gervonta Davis was the one that answered the bell. He was the one that had to go in there and compete against Leo Santa Cruz, who was an absolute worthy opponent. Absolutely, man. Leo came to fight. Truly, there's no way that you can discredit that. He was giving Gervonta what we expected from Leo Santa Cruz early on in the fight. He absolutely was. He was making it a fight. People need to accept that for what it is. But I have to give Gervonta his just due credit. I have to preface his performance with the fact that Gervonta has heart. He had that dog nation mentality when he's in the square. You have to look at Gervonta's freaking fabric for which he was cut from. You know how he think. Yes, all the struggles that Gervonta Davis has went through, you see that play out in the ring. You know, he's a tough individual. People sit up here and make fun and make light of him ballooning up in between fights, but he was in a thorough training camp this time around, and he did what he had to do. Osman, what's good with you? Salute, man. That was a good fight before the KO. It was, man. It was a competitive fight. It was absolutely a competitive fight, and that's what I like watching. It doesn't matter who I'm going for. Even the fight I'm going for, I really want them to go in there and allow people to see them in the best light possible. For them to go in there and compete and give a good account of themselves so people will return. You know what I'm saying? This day and time, you have to, kind of support fighters before they get to the big stage, because it's just so many cliche, ideations out there that people want to say that you're jumping on the bandwagon or what have you. But everybody, hardcore boxing fans, know Gervonta Davis is a problem. He's the truth. He is difficult to deal with. And for anybody who believes in that, just because he's a short guy and you're going to go in there and run over him because you have a height, man, you need to throw that shit out the window. If that was the case, Mike Tyson wouldn't have had no damn knockouts, because his height and reach is just unbelievable at a disadvantage. But with that disadvantage, man, he was able to damn substitute it and produce power knockouts, highlight reels. Fighters are going to have to understand that when they step in there with Gervonta, is that you're going to have to bring your best boxing. You're going to have to go through the storm. Unless Gervonta Davis have a very bad training camp and he missed weight and he just really fucks everything up. People, his opponents are going to be in for a rude awakening if they believe what everybody is talking about on social media. If you want to come in there and say, hey, you're more disciplined than Gervonta, you more this, you more that, you don't drink or smoke, you don't do that. Listen, it's some people I've seen in life that smoke and drink and they go out on a motherfucking 10 to 15 mile run. And they compete in triathlons, man. I don't know how the fuck they do it. Don't ask me, but I've seen it. And I was in awe. And I'm saying to myself, shit. I'm thinking if you're a smoker and you putting that in your mouth and it has like over 7,000 chemicals in it, whatever, then you definitely going to degrade your lung capacity, your respiratory system. But listen, I'm not here to talk about the outside life of Gervonta. I'm just here to say that out of those three that I mentioned earlier, I think Gervonta is going to go with the mark on the money, the monetary value, and he's going to definitely try to go with Ryan Garcia. Tank is definitely probably going with Ryan Garcia because that's going to potentially be an easier fight to make. Now, boxing heads that's out here, the ones that's tuned in, right? Check this out. The zone, in light of what's been taking place with Canelo Alvarez, it's not going to be as 2+2 as people believe it. We're making a fight with those potential opponents over there at the zone. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We've seen PBC and Top Rank do a co-promotion. We've seen success with that. You know, we've seen it with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. I can tell you Top Rank did an excellent job with putting the press releases out and everything, people. It's been done, and it's going to happen again. It's definitely going to happen again, and it's going to continue to happen as long as they generate that money, and people pockets are beginning to, you know, replenish themselves, and the surge begins to, you know, come back up, the numbers and everything. They're going to continue to do this, and there's some good, solid fights out there for Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. They talk about the social media followers. Also with Gervonta Davis, it's a double shot cocktail that you're getting. Yeah, you're getting a double. You're getting a double shot. You know, a double is better than a single. You're getting Gervonta Davis, and you're getting Floyd Mayweather. You're getting Gervonta Davis, and you're getting Floyd Mayweather. I don't care what anybody has to say about Floyd Mayweather. When he's in the building, people are running over there and saying, oh, shit, that's money. That's money. That's money. Now, of course, listen, people, when I'm in a fight, my energy gets a little bit different. And I'm happy to see the fights because, you know, I love what I do. So, of course, you're going to hear me, you know, celebrating and the tone of my voice is much higher. But I'm telling you, that's because I'm in a boxing arena. I'm about to see fights. I'm close. So Floyd or anybody else, you know, I'm going to turn up a little bit. I'm not going to sit there like a mannequin and shit. The mannequin challenge is come and gone. I'm not going to sit there and just stare like, oh, wow. Okay, great. You know what I'm saying? It's not going down like that. J8 in the building. Salute. Manny Pacquiao need to fight Arrow or give up his strap. Y'all coming in with topics that's absent of my goddamn title. Salute J8 for stopping in. J8, look, my title is Tank Davis KO PPV vibes. And then J8 said Manny Pacquiao. You know what? Hey, J8, I'm gonna entertain that, right? But let me get through this, bro. I'm gonna entertain because it's a good point. All right, it's a good point. I kind of disagree with it, but it's a good point though. Osman said Mike Tyson used to do coke, drinking, party, still fight. Yeah, he was out there, man. He was out there. Real talk. Mike Tyson was out there for sure. But back to my man Tank Davis, man. He has a double it factor when it comes to the sport of boxing. You have an individual that has broken all the monetary barriers. People can speak racism all they want. They can scream it to the high heavens. But if that was indeed the case, you wouldn't have fighters facing fighters all the time. You wouldn't have fighters sparring fighters of different races in the gym. It just wouldn't happen. And of course, you wouldn't have someone like Floyd Mayweather be able to generate as much revenue as he was doing his active career and able to come back and return from the sport as a retired boxer and generate several $100 million fighting a guy who's a 2-division champion mixed martial arts with 0 professional boxing. It wouldn't be that easy. But is it racism in boxing somewhere, somehow? And you know, in the decision, it probably is. But people need to understand, in boxing, there's no retirement plan, and Gervonta Davis need to get the money. He need to get the money. Along with getting the money, what he need to do? He need to make sure that he solidify his legacy. Now, what does that mean exactly? Can Gervonta be considered great if he stays at 35-30? Of course. Of course. But he needs some big fights in either division. He need to fight some big fights at junior lightweight and lightweight. If he does not plan on moving up to 140, which that's not coming anytime soon, he needs to really have some big fights. And I truly believe like there are going to be some very, I'm talking about some very entertaining names that's going to be right on his front door, potentially in 2021, 2022. Either one of those years. One of those names, Shakur Stevenson, it's only going to be a matter of time before he steps up to the lightweight division. And he himself will have no problem with trying to make the biggest fights, no matter who it is. No matter who it is. It would be good to see Shakur Stevenson. He's saying he's trying to collect some belts at 130. So from my understanding, he's going to take his time down there. So like I mentioned earlier, the names that he has down there at the time, Gervonta holds the WBA title. Miguel Berchelt has the WBC. IBF is held by Joseph Diaz. And on the WBO is Jamel Herring. Most of those individuals, besides Tank, has upcoming fights. Berchelt is out due to COVID. So Oscar Valdez, his opposition, is going to take another fight. We don't know if it's going to be Shakur or not, but I definitely like to see Shakur Stevenson fight. He is one of the future stars of boxing, hands down. His entire mindset would change the game. Then also you have Jojo Diaz. He's stepping in there for a potential rematch with Tevin Farmer. And of course, Jamel Herring, he's been making it loud and clear that he wants to fight with Carl Frampton, which would probably be his last fight. And he'll retire, or whatever the case may be. But that leaves the door open for Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis will fight one of those three champions. I believe it. If Berchelt, is able to defend his title, he may look for a big fight with Davis. Why not? Davis has fought at that division before. He's fought there before, so he has no problem coming home. Now for the 135 lightweight division, yes, Teofimo Lopez would generate more PPV buys than Ryan Garcia. Absolutely. If that fight happens at 35, absolutely, he would generate more than Ryan Garcia. But one dynamic that Ryan Garcia has is that he's been able to basically market himself in a different way, put out videos on social media. He has the women on the sidelines. You want that women and those women on the sideline to invest in you. You want that. You want to be the heartthrob. You know what I'm saying? You want them tuning in. Oh, Ryan Garcia said, "Oh, let's buy the PPV. Let's see him fight." Of course, you want that. You want that attraction. And you know who's going to scoop that up? If they had opportunity, Floyd Mayweather and Gervonta Davis. So that's why you hear Ryan Garcia being a lot more vocal than you used to hearing him. All of a sudden, he's out here, he's winning. He's not really, calling out Gervonta, Davis consistently, but now he is. He said, when I beat Luke Campbell, don't go running nowhere. He's trying to make it seem like he's the top dog. Garcia's trying to change lanes right now. He's trying to change levels. Garcia's trying to prove to the people that he himself is a contender. And somebody he's going after is the one and only Gervonta Davis. And of course, that shit would change his life. If he's able to go in there and give a good account of himself and even earn a victory, Ryan Garcia is on a whole nother stratosphere in boxing. I'd rather see Tank fight Shakur or Devin Haney. I didn't know Ryan Garcia fight going to be too easy. Keep it on Ryan Garcia fast. Don't even watch boxing. Most of them are kids. They can't even afford PPV cash wise. Ryan Garcia doesn't even do big numbers when he fights. It's according to who his opposition is, though. That's with any fighter. If Ryan Garcia has the followers, believe me when I tell you that a lot of people put emphasis in followers. You know what I'm saying? It's really a complex situation when you look at it, because Teofimo Lopez don't have an extensive amount of followers. You know, Vasily Lomachenko, the same thing. But in the boxing ring, they have a popularity from the boxing masses of who they are. So, of course, being the top pound for pound, they're going to generate some pretty decent numbers, especially if it's free TV. People going to goddamn tune in. But Rap Star in the building, what's good, man? Salute to you. But when it comes to Ryan Garcia has followers, man. And he knows how to promote himself. And that's going to play a huge role if he steps in there with Gervonta Davis. Now back to what you said about Shakur Stevenson. Let's look up something. And let me throw this out there. Floyd Mayweather on Twitter has like 24 million followers. He has like 24 million followers, right? So this is what I'm going to do. I want to look up what Shakur Stevenson, because it was a point in time there, Osman, that I didn't give a damn about social media followers when it came to this fight game. But of course, that matters now, dog. I mean, media. Oh, how many followers you got before we approve you for credentials? Man, look, Shakur Stevenson, Twitter, has 50.2K followers. That's way beneath who we're talking about. Let's go to Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis has 285K followers on Twitter. This is Twitter now. I really don't even fuck with Twitter, but I'm just saying. But you go to the IG, where a lot of people love to, post most of the day, and they stay heavy. Floyd Mayweather has 24 million IG followers. So you take Floyd Mayweather followers and combine them with Gervonta Davis followers, it's going to bring a lot more people to the table to buy his fights, right? Let's look at Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson had 292K IG followers. Just 292K. Gervonta, combine his followers with Floyd, it comes up, you're looking at Gervonta with 2.4 million followers. And we know a lot of, some of those followers on the back end was there for this fight. But 2.4 million followers, man. Call them what you want, say what you may, but 2.4 million followers. You have to take that in consideration when it comes to making these fights. You have to, man. You have a total of 26 million followers selling a fight. Now, we know it's not going to be every one of them, but 26 million? 26 million followers. And you're not really concerned about Ryan Garcia, who's going to take that over 30 million. Ryan Garcia is going to take that to over 30 million followers combined with Floyd Mayweather. Look, I mean, mention one person, though, with Floyd Mayweather, Gervonta Davis, and then Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has, Kingry, as they call him, 7.5 million followers on IG. That takes it over 30 million right there, right? Not only that, we have to include Oscar De La Hoya into the equation. Oscar De La Hoya is just beneath 1 million followers on IG. But we're talking about Oscar De La Hoya now. We're talking about one of the legends of boxing. We're talking about Oscar De La Hoya. So combine all those numbers together to generate a fight. It's gonna make sense. It's gonna do solid numbers because that's a lot of people. You know, just at this fight alone for Gervonta Davis in San Antonio, 24,000 people was watching on Floyd Mayweather's live when he was in the back with Gervonta. 24,000. 24,000. Now, how many people in Floyd Mayweather's position is going to basically have more people tuning in if they wasn't, looking in on his live, seeing exclusive behind the scenes? How many people are going to remember that? They're going to remember that. Floyd knows what he's doing. He's trying to, take Gervonta's freaking popularity in boxing to another level. The way he's going to do that is through himself. You know what I'm saying? That's Floyd Mayweather, dog. D-Style Boxing in the building. What's good, man? Salute. Y'all be sure to check D-Style Boxing. Outstanding content over there, man. Be sure to check that out. Osman said Ryan Garcia fans don't even watch boxing near me. Most of his fans are little kids and little girls. I disagree with that. And I'm really not here to go to war whether his fans are little kids or whatever. But little kids can influence their parents to pay for a fight. It's not like they paying for something that's outside their age, restriction. You know what I'm saying? They can absolutely encourage their parents to say, I want to see Ryan Garcia fight, Mom, Dad. Is there any way we can watch him fight? And they're going to say yay or nay. They might turn and look at them and say, how do you even know this guy? Oh, man, I see him on IG and all this other stuff. They're not going to look at it like, he's too old. Ryan Garcia is still young in the game. He has a bright future ahead of him in the sport. And like I told you before, it was a point in time where I cared very little about the social media situation with followers. I kind of took it for granted when it came to media because I was like, why does it matter if media was ongoing back in the day and we didn't have social media? So all of a sudden, you're trying to tell me that in order for us to cover a fight, we have to have a certain number of social media followers. And not every person that does media has a huge following. But the fact that you can go out here and cover, do the videos and post them, that's what I was thinking about. I'm more so orientated around being an IT guy. You know what I'm saying? But things have changed. It's absolutely about how many people that you can get to tune in. So I'm going to leave that right there. D-Style Boxing said Canelo versus Plant equals fire. I absolutely agree, D-Style, man. Caleb Plant, sweet hands, that's my boy. I have to go with Caleb Plant. I'm not taking nothing away from Canelo Alvarez. I said on plenty of times before, he is the one boxer in the sport right now that's at the top of the food chain, that's doing it the right way. Now, even more that he's basically released himself out of a $365 million contract, 11-fight deal. He's solo dolo as an agent. He's about to go on a rampage right now. Y'all about to be real mad. What they say? Y'all about to be big mad right now. If he indeed signs up to fight Caleb Plant, that's going to be a damn good fight. I just came back not too long ago, several months back in Nashville, Tennessee, from watching him fight Vincent Feigenbutz. And I enjoyed the performance, man. Anybody who's sleeping on Caleb Plant boxing skills, and his movement in the ring, how slick he is, him and Canelo Alvarez will match up really nice. Seriously, him and Canelo Alvarez will match up real nice. That'll be a damn good fight. 225 buys is solid, especially for the first time. I totally agree, man. You know, it was a success for Tank Davis, man. And not to mention that, you know, him and Floyd Mayweather, they're gonna build that foundation. They're gonna continue to stack those monetary bricks on top of each other. They're gonna try to build a goddamn palace around boxing. They're gonna have people trying to chase down Gervonta Davis and be in the ring with him by all means necessary. I don't care where I fight you, a Walmart parking lot, man. Anyway, I just want to be in the ring. I know I'm gonna get the biggest paycheck of my career. That's what they're looking for. They want the chase to be on. They want fighters chasing Gervonta Davis. We need to build a future. Boxing needs to stop looking down on younger fans. I don't know what that's about, man. When did boxing fans have to really be of a certain age? And check this out, D-Style. When did boxing fans have to be a certain age? When kids actually start boxing, some of them at the age of 5, 6, 7. So if kids are boxing at a young age, what is considered the amateurs, why is it a problem for other kids around that same age to tune in and watch fights on a professional level? If you used to seeing it on the amateurs, young kids competing in combat sports, whether it be taekwondo, karate, kickboxing, Muay Thai, judo, whatever, full contact sports, why is it a problem for them to watch it? It makes no sense. Parents will make kids do their chores, cut the grass, to order them to fight, and to order them to fight. Ryan getting kids to do their chores. Yeah, man, that's possible, bro. You know, look, Ryan Garcia is a fan-friendly type dude, man. I commend him for marketing himself like that. Devin Haney, I have to commend him the same, because Devin Haney he basically marketed himself too in a very organized, business orientated fashion. You know, he put a little footage up there, mostly stills. You know what I'm saying? He don't do too much of the video like Ryan Garcia, which I like. So you have two different people trying to build their fan base. I ain't mad at them. I got Camelot. Let's put 100 on it. So Rap Star, the fight, they saying it may be December. All right. Nothing official, Rap Star. But check this out. It's nothing official. But once something official come out, then we will know. You know what I'm saying? Then we will know. We have to wait till something's official with Canelo and Caleb Plant. I don't want to just put air bets out there. I want something to be official. Canelo beats Plant. I'll put 100 on it. Okay, we'll see. We'll see when that comes around, man. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. We will see. But I'm gonna pull a Ryan Garcia there, Rap Star. When you don't get the results that you're looking for, don't go running. Don't go like talking about, oh man, we've been experiencing a freaking power outage over here. That's why I haven't been on for 2 months. Don't go running nowhere now. Let's do it. What's a good fight? But I think the scorecard is already for Canelo to win. Yeah, a lot of people are gonna say that, and that's a solid point. But it got to come down to this. At the end of the day, Caleb Plant, if he is indeed the next opponent, he has to go in there and don't leave it in the hands of the judges like that. Like, we know anything can happen in boxing, but he can't go over there and put it. You know, he cannot come in there with the lonely Chinko fight plan, because he was very lonely in the first half of that Teofimo fight. He didn't know what the heck to do. Putting away 6 rounds is an absolute terrible idea. So Caleb Plant has to go in there with the mentality to put away each round that he can, box smart, make sure he's in shape, to have the cardio, and be able to give it and take it. And we already know that Canelo Alvarez can box. We already know he's one of the slickest fighters in the sport. You know, he took his L from Floyd Mayweather, even though he said he don't consider that a loss. It is a loss. But we all know Canelo is at the top of the food chain. Now it's up to Caleb Plant to wipe that away and hand Canelo Alvarez his second loss. It is up to Caleb Plant to make that shit happen. He needs to go in there and put on that Jose Uzcategui performance. He needs to go in there and be in control when people are not giving him a chance to. He needs to make it happen. And sweet hands, he's going to have to be extra sweet that night with his hands, man. He got to reach out and touch Canelo Alvarez and basically, you know, make it very difficult for the judges just to come up there and give us a rolly and a robbery. Yeah, Rolando Romero, Jackson Marinez. We don't want to see that no more. It's not good for boxing. It's not good for boxing. And Roller's a good dude, man. But you know what? Fighters need to understand if they're able to go out here and talk shit, so can we. There's no permission. They have to understand they talk shit to people. You know, they have to be willing to absorb that impact also. But Canelo Alvarez, man, the only problem I have with this date is a date that potentially should have been made for, you know, Wilder Fury. That means, in my understanding, that Caleb Plant did not take the David Benavidez fight when they offered him coming off the fight camp and the fight with Vincent Feigenboots, right? He said it was too early. You know, they was going to try to catch him when his body was worn down and so forth. So I'm saying to myself, it's November 6th. How long have you known about this? And have you been in camp? Because if you haven't been in camp, Caleb, for somebody like Canelo Alvarez, then you in for trouble. You have to prepare yourself to go 12 rounds and defend your IBF title. So this had to be in talks for quite some time. Seriously. It's nowhere in hell. This pops out of the blue. Canelo Alvarez wins. Goes about his business, a free agent. And all of a sudden they say, hey, we're going over here to Whataburger. And by the way, get Caleb on the phone. Get his people on the phone. We're going to try to make this fight. This is not even enough time. It's like just over 4 weeks for him to prepare for the top pound for pound fighter in boxing. It doesn't make any sense to me. You can't tell me otherwise, people. I know Rap Star. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, you know, Rap Star, you know, D-Style. If y'all want to jump on the panel and talk some boxing, you're more than welcome for the invitation. You know, Rap Star, D-Style. If y'all gonna come in here and talk about, you know, Canelo Alvarez or whatever, you know, the panel is open, man. The panel is open, man, to talk this boxing. But it's good, man. Look, check this out. People was kind of like looking at this whole setup with Canelo Alvarez and the date that's been assigned, right? And they're saying like, man, that's close to freaking Errol Spence and Danny Garcia. But listen, people, that's how it works. Man, boxing is so dirty. It's always people plotting. It's always managers and matchmakers plotting. Look what happened with Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez. He learned from the best. Canelo Alvarez learned from the best. Floyd Mayweather jumped in right before the PPV of freaking Gennady Golovkin and Canelo. He jumped right in the slot before the fight, man. Do you think he didn't take away some of the freaking PPV buys? Hell yeah. That's what Floyd does. That's what Floyd does, man. He say, shit, you know what? I don't even need a full camp for Conor McGregor. Let's go. Whatever. I don't need a full. I don't need a full training camp. Let's get it. I mean, these people in boxing are always plotting. Always plotting. So you can best believe that it's going to continue to happen. And if by chance, people are not looking at this date being in December, all these freaking dates are flooding the last month of the calendar year. All these freaking dates. And you know what? People are showing absolutely no mercy. They don't freaking care. They don't care who PPV is conflicting with. They're trying to go in there and make their money. They trying to be the front, the workhorse, and that's the front runner. They're not worrying about anybody else that's PPV. They don't care. They trying to damn set up the venue. The venue, potential was already locked on. Okay. But they just trying to go in there and make their money and bounce. Put on a good performance and bounce. It's a dog-eat-dog world in this boxing. Major Key Boxing, what's good? What's good? Salute to you. Y'all be sure to check out Major Key Boxing. What's good? It's all good, man. Rap star say eating. It's all good, man. But when it comes down to these individuals right here, man, the solid part about it is that we're able to get some quality fights to close out this calendar year and then, get prepared for 2021, because that year is gonna, we're definitely gonna have some changes. And the reason I say that we're gonna have some changes in boxing is that they're slowly but surely trying to integrate a live gate back into the boxing arenas. When you combine PPV with a live gate, of course, it generates higher revenue. And that's exactly what they're trying to do right now. They started it with Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz. Of course, it was successful. Now they're trying to look and see what's going on with Danny Garcia and Errol Spence. They want to check those numbers. Now, in light of what you heard about Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz doing 2.25, now we need to see how big of a PPV star, can Errol Spence be, in the midst of a pandemic with another popular name in Danny Garcia. Can they exceed 2.25 PPV? Can they? And also, can they do it if there's another fight that's PPV? I just don't see Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant being on free TV. I don't see them pulling off a Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko. I don't see it. I think Canelo Alvarez is definitely out to prove a huge point. He definitely trying to be the top dog in PPV. I know he's sitting back looking at Gervonta Davis like, man, you ain't doing, I'm the top dog. Now I'm out my contract. I'm about to show y'all how it's done. Canelo's about to stun on him. He's going to try to stun on him. He's going to try to get the big names. And if Canelo Alvarez continue to win, y'all, if he continue to win, oh my God, this dude's going to be on a whole nother, like if Canelo Alvarez continue to win with top names, not no bullshit, freaking Yildirim, Abney Yildirim, his previous sparring partner, not any of that shit. But if he pick up some solid names, then we're talking about something totally different. Major Key Boxing said Canelo should take one contract fight and cake it up. He's the cash cow now. Man, Canelo is sitting at home right now, man. He's probably just, kicking his feet up, hands together, crossed, looking up at the ceiling, eyes closed, just reflecting, because he got himself, look, he's out of that contractual. He's able to maneuver and steer himself to some of the biggest fights in boxing. Canelo Alvarez is in charge, y'all. He's in charge of his career. Now he's like the Floyd Mayweathers. Now he's like the Manny Pacquiao's, the Mikey Garcias, fighters who have been able to get themselves out of contract. Now, I'm not saying it was easy, but goddamn it, Canelo made it seem easy. Because I know Floyd had to come off about 600,000, I believe. Mikey Garcia had to come off, not to mention his freaking court fees, his legal fees and all that, which reigned over, in my understanding, which exceeded $1 million. He was out of the sport for over a year and a half, I believe, negotiating and trying to release himself from top rank contract. Then, you have Manny Pacquiao. But this right here with Canelo Alvarez, though, it seems so perfect. Like, this shit seemed extremely perfect, man. And unfortunate for the Zone, who's a fledgling streaming company, they're trying to do big things. They lost a huge name to their collective group on their roster. Who else on there is going to take over? The biggest name they got right now, to be honest, is probably Devin Haney, man. And we don't know how long Devin Haney is locked into that DAZN contractual agreement. We don't know how long. Buddy in the building, what's good? He said he's plotting his come up. You damn right he's plotting. Canelo Alvarez is plotting like you can't plot anymore. And see, that's what people understand. You shouldn't be mad and hating that he's in charge of his career and he was able to find a legal loophole. People was up here saying, "Oh man, they shut it down." They shut down Canelo's request to get released from his contract, and then they provided him a time. They provided him a deadline to return and refile. And that's exactly what happened. Canelo turned around, refiled, and now look, they ruled in his favor. Boom. He's out there fueling up the damn jetpacks right now. Canelo's fueling up the jetpacks. If you think he was soaring high right now, he comes out with news that he's trying to fight Caleb Plant, the super middleweight IBF champion. If that ain't a big name, I don't know what to tell you. The 4 horsemen of the 135-pound division will all be PPV worthy. Yeah, it's going to come down to the promotions there, Major Key. Yeah, they PPV worthy, but it's going to come down to the promotion to make that fight. Absolutely. From Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, and Gervonta Davis. Vasily Lomachenko, I'm leaving him out of the equation because he may indeed take the elevator down to 130. So that's the only reason I'm leaving him out the equation. But he's still a reputable opponent for any one of those guys if they choose to fight. I don't know where Lomachenko's head is at. As long as they keep fighting to be great, for sure. Canelo does better on PPV. Yeah, for sure, man. Canelo Alvarez, man, I'm telling you, like Canelo Alvarez, he's on a whole nother level. Somebody, I think Rapstar, said Anthony Joshua is with his own. Listen, anybody who know me, man, I haven't had too many good words for Anthony Joshua, man. You know what I'm saying? What's up there, buddy? What's good, man? I haven't had too many freaking words, man. So excuse me for my subliminal shade. in not recognizing Anthony Joshua. Dude, man, come on, bro. Like, Anthony Joshua is Anthony Joshua, and he is what he is. He's not even part of my conversation today. But right now, Devin Haney, he has a U.S. footprint. That's what I'm saying. He has a U.S. footprint. I know the UK fans adore and support Anthony Joshua, but Devin Haney has a U.S. footprint. He's trying to build upon that. And we all know the U.S. footprint is huge when it comes to the sport of boxing. It's huge. But right now, if this is indeed true, we're about to see a damn good fight between Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant. We're about to see a damn good fight. So let's go here for a second. What's some good opponents for Canelo Alvarez? You know what I'm saying? What's some good opponents for him? We know Caleb Plant is a good opponent. We definitely know that. But what do you all think? If Canelo is fighting Caleb Plant, what are some other good opponents that are 1, 2, and 3 on your list that Canelo Alvarez should fight? Should we consider Jamal Charlo? Should we consider the 160-pound division in general, being that that's where he picked up the franchise belt? So, or should we consider super fights? Okay. And I still haven't forgot about the person who was talking about Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao. I still haven't forgot. But right now, you know, this is some heat right here. So would you rather see Canelo Alvarez fight a Jamal Charlo or Demetrius Andrade? Would you want to see him fight those individuals after Caleb Plant? Do you believe, coming off the performance of Sergey Derevyanchenko, Jamal Charlo will have enough star power, fan base, popularity to go in there with Canelo Alvarez and be a success and do PPV? He'll be in there with the right dance partner. What do you think? Do you believe that after he, have this fight at super middleweight, if he's successful, who should be next? Should he stay up there around super middle or light heavy, or should he drop back down to 160? Because the way I'm looking at it, it seems like Canelo Alvarez is frolicking around at the higher weight divisions. But let's ring the bell on this one fight that was out here lingering around. That fight was Errol Spence, who is a unified welterweight champion. Would he be an interesting fight for him to possibly move up 2 weight divisions and fight Canelo Alvarez at 160? It would be a slap in the face of a lot of them 160 pounders, because they've been there contending and they really haven't got a shot at Canelo Alvarez, period. So should we consider Errol Spence a future opponent for Canelo Alvarez now that he's a free agent to do anything he wants, just like Mikey Garcia? This is another thing. Mikey Garcia is basically talking about challenging 2 big names at the junior welterweight division. He mentioned Teofimo Lopez, which people are paid to see that. You know what I'm saying? He just came off a win over Jesse Vargas. Moving on. Moving on. But we have a lot of fighters just making these fights at different weight classes. With Errol Spence Jr., which somebody was talking earlier about, Manny Pacquiao should fight Errol Spence. I think he should fight either Terence Crawford or Errol Spence. But I guarantee you, if Errol Spence is offered the fight for Canelo Alvarez, if he indeed, his people get on the phone and attempt to make that fight after Danny Garcia, because we are assuming that he defeats Danny Garcia. In 2021, what? Canelo coming off a fight with Caleb? Errol Spence coming off a fight with DSG? PPV 2021? Errol Spence is moving up past 154 to 160? That should be epic. This is where Errol Spence will have his breakout fight. Really. To basically put himself up there higher on the pound for pound list, where he's just been lingering around. He just came inside the top 5 on ring pound for pound. This will do it. This will do it. And it's going to be some people out there that are saying, no, hold up, stop. You're trying to tell me you're going to advocate for Errol Spence to move up to 160 and fight the pound for pound best and Canelo Alvarez. Hey, you daring to be great, right? They say Errol's the boogeyman. Errol has mentioned it himself. If he truly wants to move up and take his career to another level and basically put his name amongst greatness, the only way he's going to do that in the welterweight division is if he closes out everybody in that division, to include Terence Bud Crawford. Because I truly believe Terence Crawford and Errol Spence will defeat Manny Pacquiao. And whoever gets the 168 WBC belt, hey, true Major Key. That is lingering out there because David Benavidez wanted to freaking, step on the scales after eating a Twinkie casserole or whatever he was doing, coming in 3 pounds overweight. That WBC title is lingering out there, of course. And it would be great, right? Look, it'll be great if somehow they was fighting for that vacant WBC. So now you have the vacant WBC and the IBF being scooped up in a new fight. That'd be awesome. That'd be a big deal right there. Because I don't see them allowing David Benavidez to come back over there and fight somebody, man. I don't know. He done burned some bridges, man. I don't know. It's not like Tank having missed the scales, but David Benavidez, I really don't know what's going on with him, man. I know he has his issue with sobriety and shit. Anyway, assuming Charlo moves up. All right, let's talk about if Charlo moves up. Charlo, if he's going to move up to super middleweight, he really haven't said anything about it. Like, I'm talking about continuously said anything about it. Who does he want at 168? When is he planning on moving up to 68? And if so, what's the name out there? Talk to us, Charlo. Talk to us. What's the name out there? You got the win over Sergey. So if you're comfortable, what's the name up there at super middle? You're going to try to go for the vacant WBC? That would be a good fight. That will put Charlo in the running to fight somebody else in that division if he's able to pick up another WBC title. That would be great. Smith and Saunders both had a chance, and the zone didn't make it happen. He had to move on. Look, solid point. Smith and Saunders has been at the zone. And, one of the determining factors, right, the dilemmas that was there with Canelo Alvarez, that they was blaming Canelo Alvarez for, is the fact that he wasn't fighting a premier fight at least once a year, as agreed upon in the contract, right? He wasn't fighting a premier fight. Now, premier is very broad in his wording and stuff like that. So therefore, is Smith and Billy Joe Sanders premier? I would say so, especially if they're in-house. They're right in-house. Why not make the fight? The shit never happens. And we can't really take Billy Joe Sanders. We can't take him for his word for being an idiot. You know, he had his license suspended. He was out here making videos, you know, promoting domestic violence and all this other shit. But for Smith, that's a different story. Smith should have been standing across the ring. Smith is one of those fighters that people look at and say, damn, that's a tough fight. Let's make it happen. But no. Let me go up here and fight Sergey Kovalev. Let me do that. This is their fault. People always want to listen and laugh with Eddie Hearns, but man, Eddie Hearns got to tighten up. He has to tighten up. The zone, they have to tighten up, man. Spence versus CANELO is a pipe dream. You know it. Check this out. If Spence, just say he comes off this win with DSG, he focused on a fight with Canelo Alvarez at 160. This will give Terence Crawford the opportunity, in my opinion. If Manny Pacquiao is not really locked in, this will give Terence Crawford go in there and defeat Kell Brook and fight Manny Pacquiao in 2021 for the WBA title. What this would do is, win or lose, Spence is still the unified champion at welterweight. So he comes back down. Terence Crawford is the WBO WBA champion. Errol Spence is coming back down from fighting Canelo Alvarez. If he wins, it's that much awesome. You know, he's going to be the A side regardless. But it would generate a lot more of quality interest because both him and Bud would have 2 belts. It would be for the unified titles. It would be for undisputed, true undisputed. No franchise belt. This would be for the absolute authenticated welterweight undisputed. That means Errol Spence would have moved up, got a huge paycheck with Canelo Alvarez, improved his Wall Street, then came back down to welterweight. Now he's set up to face Bud Crawford, the fight who everybody's been wanting to see. That's a win-win for Errol Spence. If you generalize it, it's a win-win. Even if he loses to Canelo Alvarez, it's a win-win. Because he's still going to be the unified champion at welterweight. I seriously doubt Canelo Alvarez will put, I know Canelo Alvarez is used to putting these rehydration claws in there and shit, right? But I seriously doubt they pull off a Sugar Ray Leonard and Donnie Lalonde. When Donnie was fighting at light heavy, Sugar Ray moved up and they fall at a catchweight at 168. I seriously doubt they'll pull off a Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz. I seriously doubt Errol Spence will put his titles on the line. You know, I just don't think it'll happen. I don't think Canelo will put his title on the line and they meet at a catchweight in between. That'll be asking for too much. That's when, you know, Major Key said it'd be a pipe dream. That means you smoking on Flocka. that means you ain't waking up. That shit hit you. You be like, oh shit, what the fuck? What is this? Oh, somebody call 911. That's asking too much right there. I'm just throwing out the possible scenarios. The easy one is that Errol Spence moves up to 60 and face Canelo. Another variable to that, if Errol Spence was moving up to fight the catchweight and they put both of the belts on the line, 47 and freaking 60. That would be a huge, I mean, you're talking about high risk. Errol Spence would be running the gauntlet. Because potentially, I would rather leave it the way I mentioned first. You know, Errol Spence goes up, fight Canelo Alvarez, then comes back down and fight Terence Bud Crawford. That's 2 big tickets in the year 2021. And it's going to feed him and his family very well. And it's going to make people on his team a lot of money. You know, Derrick James, everybody. It's going to look real good on Spence's resume. Both of those fights will be PPV. Both of them. No one else is going to matter in that point. No one else is going to matter. Spence versus Canelo is interesting, absolutely. Both Canelo and Spence spar heavyweights, I believe. Don't think it would be a Mikey Garcia Spence type of bout. A logic. That's logical for you to say that. I mean, I never said it would be a Spence, type of fight. A Spence and Mikey Garcia type of fight. And you're talking about two different boxers. Definitely, you talk about two different boxers, man. Mikey Garcia, I kind of put his performance against Spence sort of like when he stepped in there and he went in there and fought Adrian Broner. It was somewhat similar fights. Mikey Garcia was pushing the pace and he was staying active on Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner was keeping a high guard, trying not to, take too much damage. And then when Mikey stepped in there with Errol Spence, he was on the defense. He said he's seen something, but we were trying to find out what he was looking at. Like, what did you see? You saw that you was better than Errol Spence. Where was it? I don't see what you was looking at. But I commend Mikey for stepping up to the challenge, man, against somebody like Errol Spence. That's all I can say. I mean, people commended him for losing. He came up from 35, even though he had fought Sergey at 40, picked up that title. He came up and fought one of the toughest guys in the welterweight division, who's considered the boogeyman, and he walked up out of there without one knockdown. Not one knockdown. So you look at that. A person like Sean Porter, who has been a two-time champion at welterweight, he got knocked down in his fight. I'm just talking about bragging rights. I'm just giving you little freaking clip, bookmarks in the fight. Mikey Garcia didn't even touch the canvas. Don't think Canelo can make a catch weight with Spence. Yeah, that's true, but you know how things are. That shit might be 158. Canelo like put stipulations on people. We're gonna do it at a catch weight, Spence, 158.8. Errol gonna be like, man, that's damn near 160 right there. Right there. What are you trying to play us or something? That's damn near 160. So they're gonna have to freaking go to 160, man. Damn, somebody was in here. Oh, damn, Rapstar, I didn't see you back here, man. Shit. My bag, bro. I didn't see you back there, man. I was looking at the comments. Click on the same link you did before, man. Spence versus Canelo. In my opinion, just as big as Spence Crawford money-wise. Spence versus Canelo, in my opinion, just as big. It's absolutely exceeds Spence Crawford. Crawford is not a cash cow like Canelo. Crawford is in the top pound for pound list, but a lot of people believe that Errol Spence should be in the top pound for pound list. Hold on, folks. What up, man? How you feel?
Man, I feel fat like a motherfucker. I ate so much food, brother.
What did you eat? A freaking double burger with extra cheese and goddamn
No, I'm actually
goat cheese on it.
I'm on a little holiday camp in Spain at the moment, so I'm just eating like Mediterranean food. It was amazing, really great food, man. But anyway, I'd just like to say World Combat Sports, the real one, is always giving us some knowledge. Keep grinding. He's always doing that work. Like and subscribe. You know what I mean? Support the channel. World Combat's always cooking, bro. But World Combat, I need to pull you up on a couple of things you said, bro.
I'm not stopping you. Free FOS, man.
That's what I love
Spit.
about you, man.
Let's go, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to let you know, yeah, I know you said that Devin Haney is the American guy on DAZN, and DAZN's hanging out with Devin Haney as the number one guy. I'd just like to let you know that there's certain fighters on DAZN still, which are not huge fighters. As you know, Anthony Joshua is the number one for
Yeah,
DAZN right
correct.
now. He gets
Correct.
like 20 million plus a fight between
Yeah,
30 million.
absolutely. I didn't even bring in money, Rap Star, but you're right. He getting paid way more than Haney. We know that shit.
About 20 times more. But
I
I
think
mean,
it's more than that shit.
yeah, you know, he brings the numbers, he brings that money, and I reckon, I don't know what you think, but I do believe that DAZN, by Canelo opting out. What about this conversation? You do know that DAZN's on the hunt for a couple more fighters now.
They've been on the hunt. They've been on the hunt for some U.S. fighters. That's nothing new.
So by them letting Canelo go, they can bring two superstars in for sure. It's just, where do they pull them out from, and where do they actually get them from now?
And what is the price tag going to be, though? I mean, who are you considering superstars with that label? I mean, come on now. I mean, look at the superstars that we have over here, and who they are, and who they're promoted under, the banner that they're promoted. So who's gonna be those superstars? Who?
I mean, they got to pull out two big names.
Just name the big names. Who is it gonna be?
I mean,
It's not gonna be
they could be
Canelo,
the
right?
smaller guys. Look, they could be the smaller guys. Let's just remember something. Let's remember this. I just found out that Teofimo Lopez has 2 more fights on Top Rank's contract.
Correct.
And you do know, right, that I've heard, I don't know how true this is, but I heard that Teofimo's dad's been talking to other companies.
Correct. That's been out there. Yeah, that's been out there that they've been trying to, break out. But
let me tell you what, I've just got exciting news if it works. And tell me if it can. They got big pockets. If they can get Teofimo, we got the Teofimo Devin Haney fight for sure then.
Yeah, if the zone is able to do that. But with the Lopez's, man, they're gonna have to somewhat get that Canelo treatment. That's where they're looking at. They're not gonna, try to go over there and get a $365 million contract, but the price tag isn't gonna be something that's we're gonna look at and we're gonna say, you know what, man, it's a last resort. No, the Lopez is there on a mission to negotiate properly and earn the most money. Teofimo is in this zone right now. He's going to negotiate and try to build himself up and to a prize fighter, a reputable prize fighter. And if the zone is trying to scoop him up, they're gonna pay for the hook, dog. They're gonna pay for that shit.
And Teofimo's not gonna make it easy. I mean, he's gonna want the real money. But what I'm gonna let you know is that if the zone can sign him up to a 5-fight deal, let me tell you what fights they can bring to him. They can bring Ryan Garcia. They can bring Devin Haney. Can they bring Josh Taylor? Who does Josh Taylor fight under the DAZN banner? No,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes he has done. I've seen him on the DAZN banner too. They can bring they can bring him 5 big fights, World Combat. They can. Okay? And those 5 fights could be life-changing money.
But do the zone have the money though? They don't look. I don't know about that. This is where I have to cut you short. That Rap Star. They don't have a PPV structure, bro.
But look,
I think the Lopez's want that PPV structure like Javante. Now that they're trying to open up the live gates over here, man. They want the double whammy, man. They want the live gate. They want the PPV. The zone is not set up for PPV, man.
well, DAZN wants the next Canelo. And from what I'm hearing in England, is the next Canelo to chase is Lopez. If they want to build him up, they have a great opportunity. And all that Lopez's dad's interested in is the numbers. He's not care about the pay-per-view. He wants to know, can they bring life-changing money to his son? That's all they want.
Well, hey, Rap Star, you're pretty sure that Bill Haney's thinking the same thing.
Yeah, for sure. But
Bill Haney's saying the same thing. That's why they signed with the zone. They felt that their son going over there will help with the building process. and it wasn't too much competition. But Teofimo Lopez signing with the Zone, when Devin Haney signed with the Zone,
It'll
oh
be huge.
that's it'll be huge, but still it'll be a conflict too. Like,
Look, you're a very clever man, right? They don't want to lose their Latino fans, so they need to pull in. They need to pull in Teofimo. They got Ryan Garcia. They need a couple of the Latinos. They got Devin Haney, and if you ask me, they got Anthony Joshua. So they got the Brotherhood as well. They need to keep their fan base in house.
man, that's difficult. That's a wildflower right there, because we got to keep Anthony Joshua out that equation, because you're talking about two guys over here in Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez, and big names over here in the U.S. footprint. Anthony Joshua is not a big name, so until he comes back over here and fight in the U.S. and fight a credible opponent, I mean, he's not going to get any love over here if it's on PPV or not. I mean, he's not going to get any love, bro.
I mean, does he earn most of his
What's going
money?
on, Alexander?
Yeah, but he earns most of his money internationally. I didn't know how big of a star he is in America, but I just know that he earns a lot of money, and I don't think you're saying much of his money doesn't come from the States, right?
Yeah, but look at it this way. Okay, we can say, for instance, let's just leave the monetary value of Anthony Joshua. We know he's getting paid handsomely, right? We understand that about Joshua. They've been talking about his money forever and a day. We know that. But what about his legacy, though? He's a two-time unified champion, but I mean, look how it all went down, though, the second time. I mean, he needs a big opponent if he wants his fans to mention his name in the company of the greats, of the heavyweights to ever to do it. He don't want to be considered a Frank Bruno. He don't want to be considered one of those fighters.
So who's the bigger money in America, Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua?
Tyson Fury, man, come on, that's not even close, dog.
Yeah, you answered that totally correctly. Because
I mean,
Tyson
these people are freaking enamored with Tyson Fury, all the jokes and all this other shit he does. And he's a much bigger star than Anthony Joshua, because he's not scared to come over here and make himself known. Period. He blows them away.
Yeah. So people will pay for him to lose now, which means that's a lot of money.
Correct.
Just like
But these super fights is coming up, with Canelo leaving. Canelo is definitely going to be on the PPV hunt right now. And we may not want to, be surprised if we see a fight like, Caleb Plant, Canelo Alvarez, or Errol Spence leaving the welterweight division temporarily to go up a division or two or whatever to fight somebody we didn't think he would fight. And we may see that. If he goes up to 160, it'll be huge, man. It'll be a high risk. It'll be high risk, high reward, because he's fighting the best in boxing right now, the top pound for pound guy in Canelo. I mean, he's trying to change levels on us. So that's far away, but that'll be huge, man.
And the other thing I want to bone pick with you is that you being such a strategic guy who's even understands the game in the ring, I don't understand how you can make a statement with saying that Errol Spence, if he goes up to make greatness and then makes that big money fight and then come back down, I think that will be so drastic and dramatic for his career. How do we expect him to go and do what Kell Brook went to do, or all the rest of the fighters? Very, very clearly, if you put that weight on and you build yourself to that weight, because I know it, and you walk around on that weight and you train at that weight, it'd be drastic to move back down to fight another guy like Crawford. He need to finish with Crawford, World Combat Sports, and then go up, because he'll at least don't have to have the pressure of going back down, draining himself, putting himself in a position where he might feel weaker now because he's walking on another lower weight. I don't understand why you expect so much from Spence like that when other fighters have been shown and proven it's dramatically health risk, it's not good for you, and that totally destroys your career sometimes if you take it the wrong way. And you being that guy who's been in combat sports, I was really not happy with you saying that, brother. And I respect you, but you expect too much from Spence, man. I don't think that's from you as well. I don't know why you expect that.
Okay, I'll tell you what I would preface it with this right here, right? You're looking at the weight situation, okay? And the names Errol Spence and Terence Crawford has been floating around forever and a day on the surface, just like oil. It's just been a residue on the surface. Them meeting in public and everything. Oh, we want to fight. We bet $1 million on the fight and all this other shit. Listen, the only reason I mentioned the fact that he should go up and get a big money fight because him and Bud Crawford is still up in the air. Because first of all, people was talking about them fighting for undisputed, right? So either one thing is going to happen to prevent him from taking a fight with Canelo Alvarez, to keep him at 47. And that is what, Rap Star? If he gets a fight with Manny Pacquiao. That is an easy way to say, you know what, it makes sense for Errol Spence to stay at welterweight to fight Manny Pacquiao. But the reason why I say he should go on about the bigger pastures and go up to 160 and fight Canelo Alvarez is because there's two belts out there for him to unify the division. They're in two separate places. Manny Pacquiao is just out here doing what Manny Pacquiao, waiting around for the big money fight. And then you have Terence Crawford with the WBO. Why fight Terence Crawford just to unify the division? I mean, that's saying that he has to stay right here at the welterweight division. He has to wait on the fight with Terence Crawford, and he has to wait on the fight with Manny Pacquiao. Who will he get the fight with first? I think it'll be Manny Pacquiao, if you're asking me. I think they will give Errol Spence the shot at Manny Pacquiao if that's how they're going to play it. But of course, we've heard Mikey Garcia might be in the equation to face Manny Pacquiao. It's just too much going on right now with welterweight division. For Errol Spence, who is the unified champion, just say, you know what? I'm just going to wait and see if I get Terence Crawford.
Mikey Garcia, I got a lot of Spanish subscribers and a lot of Mexican subscribers and everyone, all kinds of people. But I'm just going to let you know, I don't like Mikey Garcia using his name to bully himself in the Manny Pacquiao fight. To me, he don't deserve it. I'm sorry. He's a great fighter, and he's done a lot at 135, but he just don't deserve the Manny Pacquiao fight. So whenever you keep mentioning that and other channels mention that, I don't like it.
No, I'm mentioning it because it's been out there as a move that he's potentially trying to make. He just came off Jesse Vargas. So if he's going to fight at the welterweight division, why not pick another name outside of Spence, a top-tier ranked opponent, and Manny Pacquiao? He's a legend, 8th division champion. If you're up there, and we all know Mikey Garcia is trying to get a 5th division, that ain't that new. So if you're trying to get a 5th division, go for the easiest one. He ain't going to step in there with Crawford. So shit, you might as well go in there with the old man, Manny Pac. How old is Manny Pac right now? 41?
40.
40, 41, same thing. Body, in boxing years, he's 51. But that was just my take with Errol Spence. It's a money. After he come off that fight with Canelo Alvarez. And this is where it may get cloudy for you there, Rap Star. And I appreciate you for bringing it up. But check this out. He's going to have ample amount of time after the Canelo fight to basically easily lose that weight to come back down to 47. He's going to be able to do it. Because look, Kell Brook, what weight did he fight Gennady Golovkin at?
Yeah, and that's what destroyed his career, really. And
no, man. What weight did he fight Gennady Golovkin at?
150, 160. 160.
So he fought Spence at 47. You're not thinking about that? I mean, he got battered.
Yeah, but he
got battered.
And Errol Spence said the same thing. Do you know what? I'm glad you said that. I'm going to send you an interview with Errol Spence and what Kell Brook said after the fight. Kell Brook said that was not a good decision he made when he realized he had to move back down and fight Spence. He didn't feel the same. Number one. Spence turned around and, wait, let me speak, and then you can definitely cook. But Spence turned around and said that was the worst thing Kell Brook did too.
Okay, we can look at it like this, the Rap Star. Spence, let's just take it back to when he fought Sean Porter. What weight did Spence say he was cutting from to make that 47 for Sean Porter?
Yeah, he always cuts from a big weight.
187, 188, right?
170 plus, not 187.
No,
170
he was in
plus.
the 180s, bro. He said he was cutting from 180s down to 47.
And that's even worse. That means for him to try and go up and come back down for Terence Crawford would advantage Terence Crawford so much that would be detrimental to his body. You have to appreciate Spence is coming up to 30 now. He's not 21. He's not 22. He's not doing something at a young age. At that age, World Combat, I don't know, man. I've been in there. I've seen my friends in there. And this is the worst decision, even as some people have done at catch weights. When they go up, sometimes when they come back down, right, the other guy's just been walking too long at that weight. And you know that. They've been sparring at that weight consistently. They've been keeping it lower consistently. And I'm sure you know, 7 to 8 pounds, the casual fan doesn't realize it's detrimental. We saw what Tank did in just what the difference in 5-7 pounds means, right? So I just think, like, I appreciate that you're looking out for Errol Spence's career in the financial game, but let's think about this. Al Heyman has got 3 big fights for Errol Spence, and I'll tell you why. He's still got the Keith Thurman fight if Manny Pacquiao doesn't want to step right now. And people will still pay for the Keith Thurman and Errol Spence fight. They will pay it. And, you know, the thing is, he can keep Errol floating around with a couple of these fights like Keith, push for Manny, and then Terence Crawford still there. He takes Terence Crawford, unifies the whole division. I promise you this, he'd be totally prepared for Canelo. He will never look back. And he could be prepared for Canelo in such a way that he'd be in that weight to win. Because they'll make sure that when Errol gets to that weight, he's going to stick with that weight and he ain't going nowhere else. He's going to be that bigger guy now. And you know and I know. You know how big Errol Spence is? He's about 5'9" or 5'10", isn't he? Right?
Something like that, I suppose.
Yeah, 5'9", 5'10". He's already outgrowing this weight. So for him to keep going at 147, I mean, I don't know how you feel about him. I think when he gets to 154 or bigger than that, even at 160, you'll see the best of him. Because the power will walk with him and it come gradually and it will come naturally for his last few years. But again, I respect what you're saying. You want to see him make the most money for his family. But I just believe he can still make some money and then go up and not look to come back down. That's all I'm saying. And I think mine is a bit cleaner for him. That's all.
You can say it's clean, but look at the fights in whatever division he chooses to move up to. He's not going to move straight up to 160 and stay up there. You know, he might come down to 154. But guess what? We need to see what Charlo's going to do at the 54 division. That's his stablemate. Mel hasn't really made any talks about moving up to 60. So he's not going to move up from 47 to 60, right? So I just mentioned the Canelo fight because Errol Spence only has been in the sport of boxing since, what, 2012? He's only been contending for like 8 years on the professional level. You know what I'm saying? And he's been cutting weight anyway. He's been doing tremendous weight cuts already. So all of a sudden his body is breaking down and everything just because he's 30 years old. Bro, I don't know if you've seen the picture, but I cut down when I was in my 40s to shred. I did it by myself. So Errol Spence, a person who's used to walking around, they saying he was a weight bully. I don't think he'd have no problem with finishing this fight with Danny Garcia, moving up to face Canelo, and then picking a date to face Terence Crawford. Why?
I mean, look, we have to agree to disagree.
You said let me finish. I'll let you finish. Check this out, though. You might consider it clean because you're trying to be a nutritionist and you're looking at the health aspect and all this other stuff. Rigondeaux just dropped down to 118 and he's like 40 years old. He just moved down the division and fought for a belt and freaking picked it up. It's according to how your lifestyle is and how that person is able. Everybody's BMI and BF and all this, you know, body composition is different. Their metabolism is different. Everybody's body is structured and mechanically and physically it works different. You just can't say 30 years old Errol Spence is going to have a problem dropping back down from 60 to 47 when he can fight once in that year. He can fight a big fight with CANELO, take time off, set up the fight with Terence Crawford, and during that time, he makes a proper, easy weight cut. Why wait till you get older and then say, let me finish the division down here at 47? CANELO is getting older. He's going to be moving on, fighting whoever he's fighting. So just say, for instance, CANELO loses. Then that fight is off between CANELO and Spence. If the target is up, if the gate is open, why not go over there and take the fight when it presents itself? If you have an open pathway to make the most money you can ever make in your career, get it done. Get it done. Because he don't have to fight twice a year. He's going to get paid very well with Canelo Alvarez. Seriously, Rap Star. He's going to get paid very well, bro.
But I think you're talking about it from your heart. If you think about it logically, logically, it's 80% it's against the game. 80% of the fighters who ever gonna do that, they're always detrimental when they go back to their weight. It doesn't help them. So it just depends where Errol is in his life. If Errol thinks, you know what, I'm gonna go up there and then I'm gonna go back down to 154, fuck 147, then I believe he should take that advantage and go for that fight and make the most money he can.
Kell Brook was winning the fight though, Rap Star. Kell Brook was winning the fight with Errol Spence, and he dropped back down from 6. He was winning the fight, dog.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, bro, is you're giving him that 20%. You're putting him, Errol, in the 20% of bracket where it's not really smart if you want longevity. So what you're saying is, even though what you're saying is, if you look at the boxing playing field, 80% of people would say depends how far you want Errol to go, because if he goes back down, it just wouldn't be wise anymore. And I guarantee you,
everybody's body structure is different.
We'll speak about this on some other platform, and then we'll see other people's value views. I just think on this particular one, you want Errol to do what a lot of fighters is proven that it doesn't help.
It's just me assessing the situation. It's not that I want him to do anything. I'm just saying if it presents itself out there, I didn't create this matchup. Errol mentioned this matchup. He mentioned it, not me. I didn't go over here and say a fantasy fight I want to see is Errol Spence and Canelo Alvarez. Errol Spence mentioned it.
Yeah, but Errol's mentioning it for the future when he's done with. Did you hear what he said with Derek?
I know he said he want to clean out the division.
Said, I just want to clean out and then I'm gone. He's
correct.
Never going to look back.
Correct.
He's never going to look back.
But check this out. In order for him to clean up the division, man, he has to get this fight with Terence Crawford sometime soon. We can't just wait around for 2 more years for this fight with Terence Crawford, whatever is going on with that. And then we have to get the fight with Manny Pacquiao. Whoever's going to get that belt, we need to see who's going to fight Manny Pacquiao, dog.
I mean, Terence Crawford is stubborn as well.
Made.
Terence Crawford wants 50% of the purse. And that's the reason why last time it went to the fucking floor.
Exactly.
He doesn't want to compromise. Crawford has to let compromise here because that Errol's got two belts. So you got to give Errol a little bit more on this one.
Well, I don't. Crawford has to talk that out. And that's what I'm saying, Rap Star. They have to figure it out. We can't wait another 2 years because Terence Crawford, the 3-division champion, wants 50%. You know what I'm saying? We can't wait another 2 years because he wants to be stubborn and say, you know what, I'm not gonna give anything. I'm not gonna give any, I'm not gonna back up any. I'm just gonna keep on talking about 50%. Because if Errol Spence get the WBA title, it's not a 50-50 fight. But if Terence Crawford keeps talking about a 50-50 fight, it's not going anywhere. So how is Errol Spence going to clean out the welterweight division if Terence Crawford is continuing to campaign and continue to win, face his mandatories or whatever? How is he going to get that other belt?
So I think he's going to do what you said. He's going to chase Manny Pacquiao, maybe even get a Keith Thurman. And if there are no more fights coming, he'll move up and get Canelo. I think that's what he'll do.
Logic said Spence only campaigned at welterweight. That's not true, Logic. Spence, I think his first 3 fights, his career, he was at 54, and he dropped back down. He dropped to 47, just like Sean Porter. He came in. Excuse me.
Is that facts? 154 he started, did he?
That's what I said, 54.
Okay.
His first 3 fights, I believe, is a 54, man. Then he dropped to 47.
Yeah, maybe. I don't even know that.
I'm telling you, that's what it is, bro. For real.
Yeah, he's a big boy. I mean, he's a big boy. He's probably the biggest welterweight we got in the game right now.
Man, welterweight or not, they need to make these fights, man.
I mean, yeah, but you guys have been saying this for the last 2 years.
What you guys? What do you mean, you guys? You just came into the media scene, Rapstar. What are you talking about, you guys?
No, but we have to follow.
What are you talking about, bro?
Listen, if the problem was in our side of the in the water, I'm sure you'd be telling us. You'd be saying you fans need to start pushing for this fight. But you know, the Americans have been pushing for Errol Spence, Terence Crawford for over 2 years in the media.
Correct. That's why I'm exhausted with talking about it. You said it right there. That's why I'm not including Errol Spence to stay at 47 when he has a huge money fight with Canelo Alvarez. Now, he may indeed say, you know what? I said I was going to clean out the division. I may have to, just take a step back. I don't see Errol Spence doing that, though. I don't see him just capitulating like that, just to give away just a little bit to Terence Crawford to get that shot with him. Yeah. But if he wants to clean up the welterweight division and he has the 3 belts, there's going to have to be a compromise somehow, some way, or else the fight's not going to happen. The fight's not going to happen. And you know, well as I do, Spence is all about getting that money too.
Well, one thing I will agree with you, he definitely wants to get life-changing money now after where he nearly lost his life. So, considering to where he's been through and what his mindset would be, is if he's still that, caliber, pound for pound caliber guy and he fancies himself, then yeah, I believe that he should take Canelo fight. It'll be the life-changing money and it'll show that, he's proving the greatness. And if he does well in that fight as well and he loses, he'll still be the pound for pound. It just, because he might be in that fight at some point where he could win it.
Who will be pound for pound?
I said, if Errol goes in with Canelo, it's 2 pound for pound guys going in against each other.
Of course, he would still hold the belts at 47. He'll still be on the pound for pound list. Exactly. But what I'm saying is when it comes down to the fight presenting itself and the ticket that he's willing to receive with Canelo Alvarez, he may not want to wait on Crawford if it's difficult, because that's gonna stall out his career. We don't know, because if he want to clean out the division, you still have other fighters that can get in and make a fight with Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford. So then, if that happens, somebody else pick up the belt. Errol has to deal with them. Then he has to deal with Crawford again. If Canelo wants to make the fight with Errol Spence, I'm pretty sure he will, because he probably sees it as like, I'm a much bigger fighter and Errol Spence is a big name. I'll take the fight. But check this out, Rapstar. Who's fighting Terence Crawford next month? You there? Hey, Rapstar, you there? Are you out?
Yo, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I said, you've got people who watch your channel, right, which are hardcore fans and some are casual. But what I'm saying is you can't hype up the fans and expect them to think that Errol's going to fight this Canelo fight and go back down. It's not going to happen the way that you want, thinking that.
Hey, I'm not pushing. I'm not pushing personally. I'm screaming for him. I'm just speaking from Errol Spence's perspective. I'm just providing a media perspective on that. I'm not sitting up here every day. You don't hear me talking about this fight every day. I'm talking about it because the welterweight division as a whole, you brought up the talking point about it. And it's a lot that's going on with the welterweight division in general. It's a lot that's going on. You have DSG about to step in there with Errol Spence. You have Terence Crawford. Now, Terence Crawford is stepping in there with who next month?
Kell Brook.
So he's stepping in there with Kell Brook, who's 34 years old, bro.
Yeah, I know.
And you just said it's a hard weight cut for him to come back. He's back at 47, man.
bro.
at 34 years old.
Yeah,
You're
but
talking about Spence at 30?
Yeah, but you do realize, right? That
You talking about Spence at 30. Do you realize he's 34 years old?
Yeah, but do you know that what Kell Brook's done to himself is destroyed his career?
But what if he makes weight?
Okay, if he makes weight and he looks gassed out and he looks like he can't even go past 6 rounds, how detrimental would that be to him?
Man, I'm not here to be a doctor. I'm not an EMT. I'm media. So I'm not here to sit up here and prognosticate what he's doing. But Kell Brook has 39 victories, bro. 2 defeats, 27 knockouts. He's on the backside of his career. So what are you expecting from him?
Yeah, but his own trainer doesn't respect it. His own promotion.
That's their problem. That ain't mine. That ain't World Combat's problem.
They told him not to take the fight, bro.
Yeah, so he taking the fight. They told him not to take the Gennady fight.
Okay, World Combat. You know these tablets that they take for weight loss, and they constantly take different things for weight loss. At the end of the day, whatever he's doing to make this weight, he ain't the same guy he ever was at that weight 5 years ago. So he'll be detrimental to him. And if he pulls this fight out, you know where Terence Crawford is at 147 because he hasn't fought nobody. That's the only thing you're gonna see in this fight.
But man, look at Kell Brook, man. He was winning the Spence fight before he was stopped. He took punishment, but he was giving Spence a honest goal, man. He was competing, dog. He's
until the 8th round came, he was gassed out.
Man,
he was gassed out, bro.
You're talking about the younger Spence.
Let me tell you something. World Combat. He took a knee and he gave up in front of all his fans in England. And everybody was angry with that performance because we knew Kell Brook could have done a better performance if he had not fought that Gennady Golovkin fight and tried to become into something where he didn't belong and then come back down and gave Errol a better chance. He made fans angry. I'm just going to be honest.
So the UK fans was angry with the fighter with as much experience as Kell Brook, who only had 1 loss from Gennady Golovkin,
because he had no petty ass fans, dog. In that fight with 6 weeks training camp to take all that money.
Man, y'all some petty fans, dude. Y'all some petty fans if you mad at somebody with 1 loss,
bro. You're not supposed to go in with a guy who's a killer at 160. When we rather you stay at your weight and wait to make money with Errol Spence and fight at a much better caliber of yourself because you've got no losses. That fight that would give you you're on a great momentum. Kell Brook didn't need to take all that damage, bro. He got mentally damaged. He was mentally damaged after that loss, bro. I'm telling you, he was our unbeaten fighter.
Hey, just say he was.
He went to America and beat Sean Porter. He was already on a high. Eddie Hearn set him up, bro. Because he was not getting the big, they gave him so much money that they messed a brother up. They messed Kell Brook up, man. And if he's watching this show ever and he ever comes on this line, Kell Brook, he even admitted it himself. He did for money, he destroyed his career. Because he said if he stayed at that weight, he would have beat Errol Spence. He believed it in his mind. And you're the same. Have you ever had a loss in your life, World Combat, in combat?
Of course, bro.
Yeah, you know how that feels, bro. It destroys you mentally when you're an unbeaten lion.
But he was 36-0 when he stepped in with Gennady Golovkin, dog.
Yeah, but that was the wrong
36-0 when he stepped in with Triple G. What more y'all asking from him? 36-0. He
was never mentally the same is all I'm saying, brother. That's
okay, so he wasn't mentally the same.
They made that Eastern European brother destroy our brother from London. You know, that Eastern European GGG had there was no reason for him to be in the ring with GGG in 5 weeks training camp. And Eddie Hearn gave Kell Brook so much money to save his own fucking ass, he destroyed his own fighter. And that's why I don't like what Eddie Hearn did. He had no reason to put Kell Brook into that fight, brother. He didn't. He shouldn't have done
it. I'm not arguing that point. I'm not arguing that point.
Thank you.
Look, you're making it seem like that's an argument for me with Kell Brook. We're kind of switching our subject from Errol Spence. You know, Kell Brook was people was against him moving up to face Triple G. They didn't want that fight to happen. We get it. But then he dropped the weight and he went in there and he left it all in the ring against Errol Spence. And you're mad because he took a knee. You mad with a guy with 1 loss. You mad, excuse me, because he took a knee against Errol Spence, who was taking punishment himself.
He quit. He quit.
There's plenty of fighters
He quit in the ring, bro.
So you're gonna try to say against Antonio Margarita and Miguel Cotto, he took a knee, he quit?
Well, Antonio Margarito cheated.
Well, you don't know that because the gloves was when he faced Shane Mosley, not when he faced freaking Antonio Margarito.
We can see with Cotto's career and such a hard puncher he was, and he had a hard head as well. He'd never been damaged since Antonio Margarito damaged Miguel Cotto. We couldn't recognize Miguel Cotto after that fight.
But so still,
you can see from the features the damage. You can see the features.
But look, Kell Brook his eyes was fucked up too.
Yeah, and who fucked his eye up? Gennady Golovkin fucked one of those eyes up already.
It wasn't the same side as Gennady Golovkin. Errol Spence
yourself in the deep waters. You know
what stands?
Let me tell you what. Why did his other eye get fucked up? Why did his other eye get fucked up? Because he was already scared of the one eye that Gennady Golovkin fucked up. Errol Spence kept covering up that Kell Brook kept covering up that Errol had to go onto the other eye because Kell Brook was always worried about that eye, which he already was not confident about.
But you're saying his eye was fucked up.
What I'm saying is he had to change his fighting style.
The opposite eye fucked up, preventing him from going in there defeating Errol Spence. Gennady Golovkin destroyed what? The right side, right? So Errol Spence
Eastern European Gennady Golovkin destroyed Kell Brook's career, bro.
Man, that's not something I'm debating. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you're adamant. You know
because that time, I was upset. I was upset because that time I didn't think Kell Brook deserved to do that for the money. He needed to stay where he was.
He's one fighter, bro. He's one fighter. He has 2 defeats. You act like the man has had losses ever since that fight that he stepped in there with Errol Spence. He had 3 wins after that.
You know why, World Combat? Errol Spence is much more smarter than Kell Brook. What Kell Brook did for money destroyed his career at 147. And I'll tell you why. When he was on the high of beating Sean Porter when he came back from America, he was in the pound for pound. Mayweather said, do you know, there's an interview, Mayweather said, you got to put respect on Kell Brook's name. And he said, that's the #1 guy now for you guys to go and beat. But what happened, this stupid Eddie Hearn had this contract with GGG, with Chris Eubank Jr. And the fight was big money. And the problem is Chris Eubank Jr. pulled out the fight. And because Jr. had a problem in the contract and the promotional contract, he pulled out. They tried to get a fighter and nobody was stepping up in time. Kell Brook, they offered him double the money, and they said, and Kell Brook stepped in, and I don't know why they brainwashed him. In 5-6 weeks training camp, you can't go into a fight. Wait, you can't go into a fight with CANELO.
What's up, Major Key?
6 weeks training camp. It's not heard of, World Combat. If Errol Spence goes in a fight like a dog, and they say to him, "Oh, you got to take this fight, and that's how much money we're going to give you," and you get 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if Errol Spence gets hurt in that fight.
Man, it's not you're on one fighter though. I understand. Look,
that was wrong though. And Kell Brook was stupid to take that fight, bro. That's it. Just agree with me on that, bro.
I'm not. Look, did I ever at one point in time say it was a problem? Like, I don't know how we got knee deep into freaking Kell Brook.
Because
but I understand where you're coming from, Raptor. You have to allow a two-way conversation to happen. Okay, I'll let you speak. Yeah. You have to understand. I'm not the one to sit up here because Kell Brook was never one of my best fighters in the first place. All I'm saying, you transition this off the spotlight of Errol Spence to Kell Brook. You connected Errol Spence to Kell Brook, and you just totally took off the focus and the talking point of Errol Spence potentially fighting Canelo Alvarez. I'm not here to debate. I understand you're not saying anything that's false. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to it, when we're talking about Kell Brook, I can't sit up here and go, mano a mano with you on Kell Brook.
Because at one point he was the boogeyman. He was the boogeyman for us.
Okay, I never said that he was a bum. I never said that he was less than. But I'm saying right now, you was trying to act like that Errol Spence, if he was to move all the way up then it would be a problem for him to come back down to 47.
It would.
And I was trying to give you examples of Kell Brook is about to step back in the ring with Terence Crawford at 34 at welterweight division. He's about to step back in there with Terence Crawford at welterweight division, 147 at 34 years old, bro. So what I'm trying to tell you is that everybody age is different. Everybody's nutrition is different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's nutrition is different.
Brother, you know this and I know this. Where Errol Spence is today, he's at top of the ladder of the game. And unfortunately for us, our Kell Brook is at the bottom part of the ladder. So he can't choose anymore where he goes. He can't get big fights at 154. He can't win those fights. So it's so unfortunate for him that he can't get any other money in this whole boxing game apart from putting his...
Bro, you're not his babysitter, rap star. He's just
that's what everybody's
man.
saying over here as well. They're saying that the reason why he has to take this fight is because this is where the money is, and they are using him. And
that don't have nothing to do with me, though. Huh? I understand where you're coming from, but bro, that's one fighter. He did to him, he's a grown-ass man, dog.
Okay, yeah, no, but what I'm just saying, look, you act
like you and him are best friends, rap star, for real. You act like y'all grew up together, man.
No, I just want to say something is that when you say something about a fighter when he goes up in weight and you give him credit for that, for losing like that, I don't.
Well, give him a credit for losing to Gennady for stepping up. He made a decision of his own. He went against the better judgment of his team, and he faced.
You were giving him credit, my brother.
What?
You were giving him credit for doing.
Giving who credit?
Kell Brook for doing that.
Look, Kell Brook, when he faced freaking Gennady Golovkin, was 36-0. If he chose to do something different and take a risk in his career, that's what he did. No one was up here putting a freaking weapon to his back and say, oh, you need to do this. It's mandatory. He went up there and did it. He suffered the consequences, then dropped back down and faced another tough fight in Errol Spence and was doing pretty decent. Look, and he, of course, he got back-to-back losses, Gennady Golovkin and Errol Spence. But since then, he's been contending at 154, and then now he's contending back down at 47. So, hey, this is off topic than Errol Spence, my friend. It's off topic to Errol Spence.
Anyway, you got a lot of messages. They're on this topic. What they're saying? What the messages saying?
What's going on, Mitch? King Mitch in the building. You win some, you lose some. Rest in peace to John Witherspoon, a.k.a. Pops. Nobody put a gun to Kell Brook head to fight Triple G. They waved a check, and he took it. He did. He took a check. A lot of boxers take checks, man. Yeah. Boxing is a broke man sport to some people, to some fighters who don't make it to the big time. Logic say Brook brought into his own confidence and sought greatness to face pound for pound Triple G. Agree, he bit off more than he could chew. And that's all I'm saying. That's very solid point right there. Because Spence end up like Brook, getting damaged by CANELO power as Brook did. Now, the only thing I can say to that logic is that Spence is coming off an accident. We really don't know the internal situation with his health. But I can tell you this. We're going to find out some things with Danny Garcia. And even if we don't see anything with Danny Garcia, we would just have to wait till he continue to fight in his career. That's all I can tell you. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. But Spence and Kell Brook are two different fighters. Spence stepping up to fight Canelo Alvarez, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be well planned by Spence. If he steps up and try to be great and face Canelo Alvarez, obviously him and his team believes he can go in there and give a good account of himself. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to make it good for him. But we can't sit up here just because Kell Brook stepped in with Triple G and choose to fight that style of fight and took extensive punishment. But look, listen to this, rap star. You advocating for a grown man in Kell Brook, but he came back down from that crazy amount of punishment, past medicals, past the damn examination to step back in there and defend his IBF title with Errol Spence. So I don't know what all the parade is about. He made the decision himself to go where the money was. He didn't get it done. Came back down for another money fight. when Spence came over to your backyard and fought and damaged the left eye. Hey, the man made a decision, man.
Yeah,
He made a bad decision.
yeah, he made a bad decision. That's all it was. He made a bad decision.
I mean, y'all could have said the same thing about Mikey Garcia.
I mean, Mikey Garcia, he was still fighting and campaigning at 140. So when he was fighting at 140, he beat fighters like Adrian Broner and other fighters at 140. And, you know, he went slowly up. He didn't go up 2 weight classes. But let me ask you this, World Combat. How many great fighters or even good fighters have you ever known, or does the chat know, who went up 3 weights, minimum 2 weights, and won? And came back down and had a
Bro,
successful
you got to look
career.
at the calendar. You got to look at the calendar for which they moved up in weight.
Because,
Roy Jones started at 54.
Yeah, but Roy Jones destroyed himself.
Who?
Roy Jones did the same thing and destroyed
Bro,
himself.
he didn't destroy himself, man. He just stayed in the sport extended time past his freaking competitive prime, man. You can't say he just, was up here destroying. Man, you're using that D word too much, destroying their career, dog.
Okay, maybe not destroy, but he didn't do himself no favors, and he ended his career in a bad way because of going up in weight and then coming back down again. What I'm saying is, World Combat, I love what you're saying, but it's very limited fighters have ever proven in our history of the sport that they can go up 3 weights, 2 weights, come back down, and then go back up and have a stable career. The most fighters who've ever done it, and they've done it the best way ever in life, is going up slowly, and they've become multiple weight division champions because they've done it very slowly and technically going up 1 weight at a time. But I know what you're saying. We've had enough. These fighters have been talking so much shit and they're not fighting each other. So if fighters are talking about doing it, let them do it now. And I understand that part of what you're saying as well. But generally, it's a lot of talk because a lot of people who have done it, they've never really gone far after that. And I respect what you're saying again, is that
but let me answer this though.
You're saying that we need to see these big fights. But again, the people who are trying to go up 2-3 weights and we're pushing them to do it, it's not helping them.
Hey, let me answer this, what you said. I haven't been able to talk and answer what you just said. You said that Mikey Garcia did not go up 2 weights. He went up 1 because he was fighting this, that, and the other. Going up 2 weights is the current weight that you're contending in, and then you're moving up from that weight at that point in time. Mikey Garcia did go up 2 weights when he fought Errol Spence, because the last person
Mikey Garcia,
check this out, Rapstar and Logic. Check this out. It doesn't matter if he fought Sergey Lipinets. Sergey Lipinets wasn't the last fighter that he fought before he moved up to face Errol Spence. It was Robert Easter. Robert Easter fought at lightweight, and then he moved up next to fight Errol Spence the following year.
And a lot of people call Mikey Garcia stupid for doing that. He told everybody that he sees a chink in Spence's armor. He told everybody he sees weaknesses. The only weaknesses we saw is that he couldn't touch Spence. Yeah, that was the only fight we've ever seen in our life. Yeah, that Mikey Garcia looked like he didn't belong in the ring. So he again did something stupid.
Man, he started the fight on his feet and he ended the fight on his feet.
Yeah, looking stupid.
Look, you can call it stupid all you want, man. This is not a reality show. I'm not gonna talk about it stupid and all that. But I'm saying he ended the fight on his feet and he didn't get knocked down. But the last person that he fought before he moved up was Robert Easter. And he dropped Robert Easter in the 3rd round, I believe. And then he finished the fight. Then he moved up to fight Spence at 47. So he did move up 2 weight classes.
No, okay, look. I get what you're saying. You like to see fights like that. It's about time people start showing us big fights. I just think that would be detrimental to Spence's career. If he goes up, fights CANELO, comes back down to fight Terence Crawford and stay at a lower weight, I think it will do him no favors.
It's almost like Rapstar, you have PTSD from Kell Brook. It's almost like you got PTSD from Kell Brook there, Rapstar, for real.
No, it's from other fighters. And, there's so many fighters that it didn't help him that way. And I just don't want Spence. I just think it'll be bad for Spence, and it wouldn't help his career if he did that. That's all I think. I mean, I got a right for my opinion in it.
Mitch say I wouldn't advocate for any fighter to jump from 47 to 60, then jump back down to 47. That's a drastic jump to go back down. Spence is bigger welterweight, but once you leave 47, stay gone. And you know, I look at it, the way I look at it is just like what I know about Spence walk around weight. What's different than him going up, which he was walking around higher than 160, and then cutting back down. And Spence even said out of his own mouth, I made it more difficult for myself because I ballooned up between fights to cut back down to 47. What is the difference? Pounds is pounds, people. Are we not understand pounds or pounds? It's not some pounds you carrying in a suitcase and you step on the scale and weigh yourself. Those are pounds that you're carrying on your body, your structure, your skeletal system. What is the difference? Spence was walking around higher than 165, higher than 170, higher than 175. It's all over the media. It's straight out his mouth. So if he's saying that he made it harder than on himself to cut down the fight Sean Porter, why isn't it detrimental when he drops back down and makes weight at 47 to fight Sean Porter?
I agree with Mitch, though. I think Mitch is saying something that it would.
But you act like you're not hearing what I'm saying, though. Walk around weight is the same as cutting weight for a fight, man.
Yeah, but that's even
come
worse.
on, Rap Star.
Heavy. Yeah, but if he walks around,
drop some bars on me, Rap Star. Come on, bro.
Okay, can I drop some bars? Are you sure? You know what? We drop some bars.
Come on, Rap Star. Pounds are pounds, man.
Okay, but what?
Pounds are pounds, bro.
The reason why I agree with Mitch is that because he walks so heavy. If he was walking lighter like Terence Crawford and some of those fighters, then I could agree. But because Spence is already walking so heavy, once he does move up, it'd be detrimental for him to come back down. It would not help him. It would be very, very bad for his career. Because once he's picked up that 154 or 160, he's going to be that fighter that if he loses weight, it would hurt him in the rounds of the championship.
You don't know that. You're
because of his age. It's his age as well. He's not 24. He's 30 now.
So what? Kell Brook is 40. Look, Kell Brook is 34. And he's about to step in for 47. Come on, man. Come on.
We're talking about. Look at Errol Spence. He's at top of the ladder. Kell Brook, because of what he's done, he's at the bottom of the ladder.
It don't matter where they at on the ladder. It's where they at on when the scales, when they're stepping in the weigh in. That's where they at. It don't matter how old they are. If he makes weight at 47 and performs poorly, that's on him. But every boxer that's on the scene right now isn't based off Kell Brook's performance. Come on, that's insane to believe that shit, bro.
We're not talking about just Kell Brook. Look at what happened to Leo Santa Cruz.
I'm kind of tired of talking about Kell Brook too. He wasn't even one of my top fighters, dog.
Yeah, so look at Leo Santa Cruz, bro. He went up a couple weights. I don't think he's ever going to be the same fighter after taking that punishment from Tank. He didn't belong in that ring.
Bro, he was a champion at 130.
I don't care how many championships he's at. He's going up 2 weights again.
4-division champion. He was holding a WBA belt at 130, man. What are you talking about, Rap Star?
Okay, look, I don't want to upset you, bro. I just feel like...
What are you talking about upset? Don't go there, man. I'm not upset. We having a dialogue. Don't stop that, man. I'm grown. You grown,
you're passionate. You're very passionate. That's all it is. And
bro, you're passionate about Kell Brook.
I'm passionate about Errol Spence too.
No, you're passionate about Kell Brook because that's one of your countrymen in your backyard, and you was over here advocating for it.
I'm just as passionate with Errol Spence, just as because I appreciate what he brings to the table. I respect what he brings.
I understand you appreciate what he brings to the table, but check this out: there's a connection there. He was the one that punished Kell Brook and stopped him, and off. You know, while Kell Brook was coming off from a fight with Gennady Golovkin, I get the connection that you have there, but you cannot sit up here and bleed over the condition of how a fighter is going to perform just off one fighter that you have familiarity with. You can't do that.
No, the same thing happened to Roy Jones. The same thing.
Nah, man, you can't compare these two fighters the way you're doing, man. That's a poor analogy, bro. You can't do that.
Okay, I think that what you expect out of a fighter, why haven't other fighters ever done that and made it great for themselves? Explain that to me then, bro.
Hey, look, it's according to how deep you want to go with the fighters who have moved up weight classes.
and then
You have
come back
five
down.
division. Look, you have 5 division champions. You know, you have Manny Pacquiao, who's an 8 division
Yeah, but
champion.
Manny Pacquiao did it one
No,
division
check
at a
this
time.
out. You have fighters like Rigondeaux, who's in his 40s, that basically just went and picked up a belt at 118, and he's 40 or 41 years old at a lighter weight class.
I think it's proven when you're a top athlete, it's very rare breed of people who can achieve that stably and comfortably nowadays, because it's such a elite game that I think it kind of like you got to be extra special. You know what I mean? And it's very rare
Of
to get
course, you
that.
got to be extra special to basically do certain things at an older age and then be successful at it at a full contact sport. Of course, you do, but you cannot put Kell Brook as the measuring stick for fighters who have moved up 2 divisions, took punishment, and came back down. Their career's done. The man has 2 freaking losses back to back, and you're saying he destroyed his career. 2 losses.
I'm not the only one
And
saying
look,
that.
he
I'm
has
not the
three.
only one
He has
saying
3
that.
wins. He
The
has 3
boxing
wins
world
after the
saying
Errol
that.
Spence loss, bro.
Combat. The boxing world is saying that.
Scotty, Scott, hey, listen. Scotty is saying this. He has 3 wins after the Errol Spence freaking loss.
And what kind of wins are they?
It don't
C-class-
matter what they are. When you
C-class
look at his
fighters.
box recs, they're green. They
C-class
might be
fighters.
C-level fighters, but they're wins.
C-class
Bro.
fighters.
They might be C-level fighters, but they're wins.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is his career has gone nowhere since he did that. But look, we can keep going on about this black and blue, but I'm just saying a lot of boxing world also agrees with me. I have these conversations on podcasts about these conversations about fighters going up, taking too much they can
It's
chew.
all good, man.
You know,
Every
and
fighter is different, bro. It's
you know,
every fighter is different. Rap star,
yeah,
you're
but you're going
using
in
one fighter.
you're going in the extra special of species that is shown that the elite of elite haven't been able to do that and maintain it. You know, so I appreciate what you're saying. We
But
want to watch.
but
these
you
fights.
gave me no examples of the elite that hasn't been able to that face the same adversity as freaking Kell Brook did at one time. Kell Brook went up once, and he was
He went up
36
2 weights. He went
check
up
this
2
out.
weights.
He went up once,
2 weights.
36 and 0, 36 and 0. He went up once, lost, came back, and was in a tough fight with Errol Spence and took some damage. And then he had 3 wins after the Errol Spence fight. And you're saying his career was just over. Why isn't he out the sport? Why didn't he leave the sport?
Because where he was at the sport in the pound for pound, and he was number one in the.
Oh no, you
he
just
was
said
number one at welterweight at the time. He was
career.
number one. Let me speak. Then he was number one at the welterweight at the time. When he had no reason to be in a ring with a 160 pounder, especially with a pounder at the time. Golovkin was the boogeyman at 160. I don't care what anyone says.
So was he making millions at the welterweight division? Was he making millions?
Not as much as the money that he was getting. Twice
Okay,
then. He got twice as much.
Okay, then.
So he
the man went where the money was.
Yeah, he didn't do it for
36 and 0, and he's not making millions there, Rap Star.
It totally fucked his career up.
36 and 0, you're not making millions, and you're mad at him for
what-
moving up and taking the risk to fight
No,
Gennady.
I said he did it for money. He didn't do it for anything else, and it came back to him. And it
Okay, that ain't my fault. Okay, cool. I'm done talking about Kell. This is the most I ever talked about Kell Brook in my life, bro.
Yeah, you look. Forget talking about Kell. I'm gonna give you 8, 9 fights.
Let's talk about Tank Davis, bro. You the one changed lanes and start talking about Kell Brook instead of freaking the welterweight division and what we was talking about with Tank Davis.
Yeah, because you turned around and talked about him and said when we were speaking about Errol that if Kell Brook could have done it, why can't Errol? And I said it's going to go against.
No, man, I was saying Errol Spence stepping up and fighting CANELO. That was my focal point. And then you brought in Kell Brook and how much it damaged his career. That's how we got on that subject.
Because I was saying the same thing that it will damage Errol. That's what I was saying.
You don't know that though. You're assuming.
Yeah, because I'm assuming in the whole boxing, since what I know.
You're
about
not
boxing.
the Gundy of boxing, Rap Star.
Yeah, but I'm.
I'm just saying, bro. You're not the Gundy of rap. And look, Rap Star, you're not the Gundy of boxing. People are not saying, "Hey, before you step in that fight, get with Rap Star, shoot him a message on the PM, and see what he has to say about it."
Hey, man, look. If I talk to my friends or I talk to other podcasts, I'm just saying we have spoke about this, and it just doesn't favor a fighter, man. It doesn't help him.
Every athlete isn't the same, man. Maybe I look at it differently because of other combat sports that I've experienced. But it's plenty of fighters in other combat sports that drop weight back and forth. Everybody's
Does it
body
happen in
is
MMA?
different.
Does this happen in MMA? They go up 2 weights and
You
come
you
back
you
down.
have to watch MMA to know that. We just had Cannonier who came in at heavyweight and he's dropping down and he competed at middleweight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't want to make this an MMA, man. That's a whole different damn show, bro.
Yeah.
You know
No,
what I'm saying?
I'm just saying. I mean, anyway, look, we can go back and forth. At the end of the day, we can agree to disagree. And I'm sure this conversation will come up again. But look, with Tank Davis, if you want to go to Tank Davis, again, I mean, what you want to tell me about Tank Davis, brother?
I wasn't telling you it. I was just saying the whole topic of discussion was Canelo,
Yeah.
and then him being a free agent, and then of course the numbers that came from the PPV of Gervonta Davis. Man, let me get to some of these comments.
Yeah, we got a lot of comments coming. We're cooking
Mitch
this
is.
up, boy.
Let me see. Probably wouldn't be better for Mikey to get K. Okay, Logic was talking about. Let me go back up just a little bit. Appreciate the comments. Mitch say 47 is a tough cut. Mikey has no business 47. His last KO was lightweight. Well, his last knockdown, he didn't KO Robert Easter. Probably would have been better if Mikey to get KO early. They 12-round beating definitely took years. I believe that it probably took some years off his life, but boxing is boxing, man. Mikey is a 4-division champion, so he's been taking punishment before he stepped in with Mikey with Errol Spence though. Mikey ain't stupid. Respect to Mikey. He didn't even get knocked down. He knows how to survive. He's a seasoned professional. Wasn't his night at Spence. Should have taken the fight at 147 before Spence. I agree.
Mikey still got a lot of big fights.
But look, check this out though. Mikey, he said wasn't his night versus Spence. Should have taken the fight at 47 before Spence. Look, Mikey has stepped in there once at 40 with Sergey and dropped back down. You know, he ended up, fighting Easter and then moving up 2 weight divisions to fight Spence. If he was looking for a big money fight, which he got paid big money for that fight, it's no need for him to kind of blow it by fighting another name when they're on the timeline. Spence is on the timeline. Spence wasn't going to wait for Mikey Garcia, so the timing was right. The timing was right for Mikey to step in there with Errol. If that case for Spence, why make it hard for yourself and not campaign at 160 of your career? What I'm saying about Spence walking above 160 is the fact that body weight is body weight, period. If you walk around with it or you cutting in fight camp down to the limit to step into the ring to compete, it's still body weight. So if Spence is saying he's walking around at an extremely high weight and he's making it difficult for himself to cut down to 47, this is for a championship fight, then what are we talking about? Oh, man, he goes up to 160. It'd be difficult for him to drop back down to 47. But he's walking around in between fights higher than 75. So therefore, for him to cut back down to 47, he had to go through measures in camp to drop weight. Spence is already considering moving up in 2 or 3 fights. Mitch, if he's in 2 or 3 fights, if he's unified, if he basically understands the timeline and Al Heyman is hooking up the calendar real nice, then potentially we may see him move up. But do y'all see him sweeping the division? Just like Rapstar said earlier, we've been talking about the Bud Crawford fight and Errol Spence fight forever and a day, and still we're not even anywhere close to it. Tank is special at 30. Leo got slept by Monster at 30. I don't see the other guys at 30 stopping Leo like that. I know somebody else, came in here and was talking about Leo Santa Cruz, and I'm not sure where they're going with it, but I can tell you this right here. This is the point I'm trying to make. That Carl Frampton, right? Carl Frampton was undefeated when he went in there against Leo Santa Cruz, and they went 12 rounds. Then he had an immediate rematch, and Leo Santa Cruz won by decision. All right? So Leo Santa Cruz' second loss came to Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis. That was Leo Santa Cruz' second loss of Gervonta Davis. I just want to make that clear that he avenged his freaking loss to Carl Frampton. He avenged it.
At 122.
We're not talking about weight classes. I'm talking about what the comment was made about Mitch saying that Leo got slept by Monster at 130.
Okay.
I don't see it. Sleep to me means you're out. Sleep to me means Gervonta Davis sleep 6 rounds. Obviously, looking at his box rec, we know that he lost to Carl Frampton and then he avenged it. His only draw was early in his career against Rodrigo Hernandez. But I'm just saying, slap is like what we just seen with Gervonta Davis, period. Let me go on to the next comment. Elijah say, why doesn't Mikey go back down to lightweight to face top lightweights or junior welterweights? So what Mikey has just mentioned that he wouldn't mind facing Teofimo Lopez at 140. Mikey Garcia released himself from top rank contract so he can move around and rover and do what the fuck he wants. That's exactly what Mikey is doing. He moves up, fights Spence. He fights freaking Jesse Vargas. Now he's looking for another ticket because he took that one L against a top pound for pound guy. He said, okay, I got paid well. Now I want another big ticket. And he sees that ticket is probably being Teofimo Lopez. Is he going to come back down to 35? I don't think so. So it's going to be somewhere around junior welterweight that he campaigns for another check. Mitch say body weight is body weight indeed. A fighter can make the weight, but not be at their best. I agree. But I'm just trying to say body weight is body weight. I mean, what am I missing? Body weight, if you round 185 and you got a fight coming up and you got to get to 147, you have to lose that weight just like anything else. If you move up to 160, fight, then you rehydrate a little bit, you fight, and then your next fight is going to be 47. You start the weight cut. It's according to how many weeks you're going to have in fight camp. You start the weight cut, and then just like the routine goes, man, it's no different. But everybody can't be based off, that situation with Kell Brook. We can't do it. We can't punish ourselves like that, man. Like I say, Mikey doesn't belong at welterweight. Money at welter, but don't think he beats any top 5 welterweights. I do. You know who I think he beats at welterweight right now, potentially, if he's on testing and he has to go through freaking VADA? That's Manny Pacquiao. That's Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao has been in the game. People want to talk about people pulling from this. You cannot sit up here and say, because Leo Santa Cruz fought at a lighter weight, Gervonta's fighting a bantamweight. He's fighting a freaking feather. Man, bro, that's just like saying, okay, people who fight Manny Pacquiao, they're fighting a light flyweight. Man, stop with that shit. Like, if a fighter fought an earlier weight class because he was coming up in the sport and he started to change up divisions as he started to advance in his career, how can you say a particular fighter is fighting the first division from which that fighter was fighting in? How is that possible? That's just like Roy Jones. Well, Roy Jones, they was fighting a freaking junior middleweight when he was at heavyweight. I mean, that doesn't even make any sense at all, man. That's just like people fighting Floyd. Well, Floyd, what you was fighting the lightweight. I mean, come on, man. That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. Spence doesn't want to step on Charlo Twins' opportunity to fight Canelo. I think Charlo will give their graces if the fight was a real thing for Spence. But how would Canelo look pursuing Spence? Canelo pursuit means you're basically, I know what you're saying, but I would think more so entertaining because the pursuit is Spence. Spence is making a move. He was progressing toward. So if he's progressing toward, he's in the pursuit to get a big fight with Canelo Alvarez, just like Mikey Garcia was in pursuit to face Errol Spence. Mikey Garcia was the pursuant. He was coming up 2 weight classes to fight Spence. So Errol will be the same way. He's moving up to fight potentially Canelo. But with all this said, people, he's facing Danny Garcia real soon. That's all I got to say about that.
And all I got to say, World Combat, is that from me coming on, cooking it up, a lot of people got involved. So, you can see that the conversation was, bubbling. So,
Yeah, don't take it personal. Don't ever take
no, we're having fun, man. We're having fun.
Look, Rap Star, of all people, the way you talk, I'd never want to say, hey, Rap Star, calm down. Calm down, man. You talk straight to the point. I get it. So I'm doing the same thing, man.
Yeah. And we cooked it up, and there's a lot of people interested in this conversation.
Yeah, man. It's the way boxing dialogue should be, man. Every platform is different. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the way it is, bro. I just allowed you to talk about Kell Brook, who basically isn't relevant to me right now, even though he's stepping in there with Terence Crawford. I just feel that him being 34 years old, I do respect him as a fighter, but he's coming back down to 47 after he's been contending at super welterweight for several fights. So he's now coming back down to face Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hopefully this isn't an Adonis Stevenson. And hopefully he doesn't get hurt in there, dropping down at his weight. I mean,
you know what? Again, amen to you. Amen to you. I didn't get hard with you, but what you just said right now is the reason why I was saying what I was saying. That you don't want it to be detrimental to the boxers if they're going up and down like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's been it's been several fights before him dropping down. How long does it take to cut weight though? That's all I'm saying. How long does it take to cut weight? That's all I'm saying. How long does it take? He's only one division up from 47.
Yeah, like we said, man, at the end of the day, if he's doing it to get paid, and, at the end of the day, if he puts himself in a chance of the fight in there, and he gets a good account of himself, as long as he doesn't get hurt. We don't want boxers hurt, going up so much, going down, and then they're trying their best for a few $1 million. And, at the end of the day, I just wish Kell Brook can do something in this fight. I don't want to see a boring fight. I want to see the old Kell Brook. So
let me ask you this, Rap Star. Honest question. How long do you okay, first of all, what's the weight difference between welterweight and super welterweight? What's the weight difference?
I don't know. It's 7 pounds, right? What are we doing here?
No, I'm just saying, what's the weight difference between 47 and 54? What's the weight difference?
7 pounds.
I'm getting to a point. What's the weight difference between welterweight and super welterweight?
7 pounds. So
therefore, you take 7 pounds. How long do you think it'll take you to lose 7 pounds in your life?
Yeah, but the problem is, you already know.
I just asked the question, Rap Star. How long does it take you to lose 7 pounds?
Well, it just depends. If you're elite fighter and you're already at your lowest,
just give me a month, bro. I don't need a tutorial, Rap Star. Just tell me.
3 months. Sometimes depends
on 3 months, right? Yeah. Okay, 3 months. Good. I'll take it. So Kell Brook's last fight was in February. He fought at 54. You don't think 9 months is enough for him to step in here with Terence Crawford to lose 7 pounds?
Yeah, as long as he's being consistently, disciplined in order to lose this weight. But look, like I said, right, we've seen the career of sports where people have, just because they've been gassed out trying to fight for their weight anymore because they've been fighting at 154, went up to 160, come back to 147.
Well, 7 pounds for 9 months. His last fight was in February, though. How long does it take to lose 7 pounds?
Yeah, but that motherfucker's been complaining about weight for a long time when he couldn't make 147.
But he's been competing at 54 after his loss to Errol Spence, though.
Yeah, because he's been saying that he couldn't make 147 comfortably at that time.
So from the pandemic, which he fought before the pandemic shut down, Obviously, we'll see with him stepping in there this month against Terence Crawford and see if he make the weight. If he don't make the weight, I'm pretty sure. And check this out: it's no rehydration clause in the contract for him and Terence Crawford, so he can go down, dry himself out, boom, make the weight, and then he can get back. Kell Brook has said, he can get back, rehydrate, and feel good about himself, and he's fine.
I mean, I know what you're saying. At least it's not 8 weeks or 9 weeks and dying to make the weight. You know what I mean? But
Logic asked a question, which was a good question. I mean, cut you off. Let me get this question. He said, World Combat, would you feel the same if Spence, after a crash, was fighting Canelo Alvarez, knowing he may have damage from the crash? That is a totally different situation. That is one of those detriments where he took a different type of impact to his body, different type of internal damage. You know what I'm saying? We cannot compare an accident to once again a human being stepping into the ring at a higher weight. We cannot take a sports car when somebody falling asleep at the wheel and being ejected to what he felt when he landed without any type of helmet on, any type of body protection, facial protection, any of that. So that question right there is so open and broad that there's no way it can be answered, because I would never say, okay, Spence should go fight Canelo. It doesn't even make any sense. It makes absolutely no sense to even consider that, because the man went through a horrific car accident and almost freaking lost his life. For him to be spoken on, on this platform and say, well, Spence coming off a car accident, he should be okay. Step up to 160 and fight Canelo. It doesn't make any, it lacks competence, really. It really lowers the bar when you're listening to somebody's platform talk about boxing, and then they're insensitive about someone who actually had a car accident, but yet I want Spence to come back to the sport and fight the top pound for pound guy after he's had teeth knocked out, after he had soft tissue and whatever damage he had.
Holy fuck.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, after he released a picture of a face swollen up, he was vaguely recognizable. Yeah, that'll be something that's far left. You know what I'm saying? Very, very much. Canelo just went up 2 weights to fight Kovalev, different from fighting Beterbiev. Once again, Canelo stepping up to 175. Of course, he did it in spurts. But the whole process of what we've been debating on here, me and Rapstar's been having a dialogue, is that the fact Canelo's going up, then now we're kind of waiting on him to see if he's going to contend at 160. That would be my question. You know what I'm saying? He's went up, and his highest weight, Sergey Kovalev, 175. Now we're waiting for him to come back down the elevator and say, okay, is he going to fight somebody at 60? And that's how the Errol Spence situation occurred. I started to talk about Errol Spence, who mentioned it, when he should step up and face Canelo at 160. And then Rapstar said, well, he said he wanted to clean out the division first, move up the division, and don't look back. And if he's not planning on looking back, then he needs to expect to wait, because the fight with him and Bud Crawford doesn't seem like it happening anytime soon. And then we haven't heard
anything at 2022.
I mean, 2022,
2021.
Look, you just mentioned Errol Spence's age, right? So 2022, he would still be young enough to fight Bud Crawford. He'll be young enough. Yeah. But then will Canelo Alvarez still be in a position to say, okay, what does he have that Spence won't? Will he still have a belt at whatever he's trying to fight Spence at?
Yeah, because
you know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure Canelo Alvarez is going to fight somebody else.
Yeah, because there's big money with Spence and Canelo World Combat.
Absolutely, but absolutely, but it's also he has goals. His goal is to clean out the welterweight division and then don't look back, right? That was the narrative. But if he isn't going to look back, that means he doesn't plan on leaving the welterweight division until he cleans it out. I was talking more so for him to dip up there if he doesn't get the damn fight with the WBO champ Bud Crawford. Go up there. get a big money fight, then come back down to 47.
But it's not good for him. Not good.
If it's one fight during the year, it is.
Nah, even you can see all your chats been saying that it's not good for him. You can see that.
Man, my chat can say what they want. They have their own opinion. They can say what they want. That don't mean I'm gonna say, okay, all right.
No, but you know it's not good for him in the long run.
Bro, you have me read all the chats. Stop trying to sit up here and act like everybody is.
Hey, most of the
They
chat
have their hand up.
It shouldn't be what he does.
It's two people. It's three people responding: Osmond, Logic, and Mitch.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, they're gonna have different opinions, man. You up here talking about all.
Oh man.
Everybody's in your chat is agreeing with me. I mean, come on, bro.
Hey, listen. Stop trying to make him do what Roy Jones did, Kell Brook did, and
I'm not, man. I'm not making him do anything. I don't have his phone number.
But
Hold
once
on
you start these kind of
hey,
things on
continue
social
to cook,
media,
man. Hold on for a
Combat,
second, Ref Star.
Once you
Hey, Ref Star, hold on
these,
for a second. Continue to cook, man.
Yeah, once World Combat, social media is powerful. Once you do things like this, other channels might start expecting him. Oh, yeah, Errol Spence against Canelo. Listen, Errol needs to go at 154. Let him have a good fight at 154, and let him then get himself comfortable in his feet and say, now let's go Canelo, $50 million fight. Let him make some life-changing money. You know what I mean? But he got to grow into it, and then you know what? Then he's got a good chance because he's been walking at that weight. He's been fighting 1-2 tune-ups, good fighters, C-class, B-class fighters, and then he can go Canelo, Errol Spence Jr., 2022. Let's do this. You know what I mean? And that'll be a great fight. And then World Combat, I'm sure you would even be more, you know what I mean, confident that Errol can go in that fight and win that fight. You know? Why send him in there when he's also got a big career ahead of him for the next 3-4 years? Let Errol enjoy the weight instead of pushing himself to go in that weight. What other people have proven when they go and do that, it detrimentally can go against their career. So let Errol do it the right way. That's all I'm saying. And what's the chat saying? Okay. Major Key Boxing, come cook it up. But what we're saying, Major Key, is that if Errol goes and fights Canelo Alvarez and then comes back to fight 147 champions, would it not be ideally, wouldn't that be stupid going against him? And that wouldn't help his career, because why is he going up 2 weights and trying to come back down? He shouldn't do it that way. He needs to finish at 147, unify at 147, have a fight with either Manny Pacquiao or get a tune-up with Keith Thurman if he can get that. But first he has to beat Danny Garcia. And the thing that we keep forgetting, World Combat, you talk about he wants the Canelo fight. He's just had a big car accident and nearly given himself muscle tissue injuries, jaw injuries, and he's going in a fight with Danny Garcia. And we're not even talking about Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia's got a chance in that fight. You know, we got to still remember that.
No one never said he didn't have a chance.
Oh, sorry, because I feel very disrespectful not talking about Danny Garcia, because he's the one that he has to get through. And if we're going to stay on point, and Rapstar's subscribers know this, I was talking about this the other day, Danny Garcia has more than a 40% chance even before all these accidents and problems and stuff like that. So we got to appreciate...
You know well as I do that when it comes to media, right?
Yeah.
You can talk about certain areas of boxing without actually following a strict timeline leading up to. You can talk about things in hindsight, and you can talk about them as far as prognosticating, future fights that you're looking forward to. Us not talking about Danny Garcia right now, it's no disrespect. We're not talking about we never said Errol Spence is going to defeat Danny Garcia easily. We were just talking about the landscape, what the compass holds for Errol Spence, who's basically trying to say, okay, he said it out his mouth that he was interested in a fight with Canelo Alvarez. But the entire talking point was more so Canelo Alvarez being a free agent.
Yeah.
That was the initial talking point. That's it.
I need to get back to you about the free agent bit in a minute, but we've got about 20 messages. If you can get through them first, please. We got loads of new messages.
Kovalev was ready to get beat. Respect your answer, but what if Spence wanted to fight? Agree. Why is why I think Spence should have fought tune up before Danny. Errol Spence was basically saying that he didn't want to tune up, but yet his people told him, yeah, you should. And Danny Garcia was the name they picked. That has absolutely nothing to do with me. I can't sit up here and go against what his people are saying that his team and nobody wouldn't allow Spence to come back to the boxing if he wasn't 100%. So I guess he's 100%. He's coming back to fight. So who are we to sit up here and say he's not? We're not medically qualified to make that decision. We can only, provide our opinion, and that is not based off fact. Logic agree. Why is it Spence? Which is why I think Spence should have fought tune up. But Earl is too big for welterweight. I think he might be done after a couple of fights. He might move up. If he is, if he ain't, we'll see. But his whole process is what? He's trying to say that he wants to unify the division before and then don't look back. Good chat, World Combat Sports. Rap Star had an entertaining convo. Appreciate that logic. Appreciate you stopping through. Mitch, Canelo's trainer said they will fight at 168. Canelo's trainer said they will fight at 168. Yeah, that's Canelo. Yeah. Before going back to 160, he said it would be too much to drop immediately back to 160. Of course, because Canelo is way above 160 right now because he's been comfortable. Look, Rap Star, I know you was gonna say exactly, but this is the only reason why I'm saying it'll be too much to drop back down to 160 because he was planning on taking another fight close to that weight that he's currently at. That's the only thing. 160, he hasn't even thought about coming back to 160 just yet. He's having fun. You know what I'm saying? He just won a major damn case, getting out of his contract, man. Hey, as a fan, we want to see Spence Canelo. But if I was a family member, I'll tell him to take it slow.
Exactly.
And it's his decision. Well, he is taking it slow because, like I said before, Spence is about to fight Danny Garcia, and he can have one fight. Spence can have one fight in 2021 and be just fine. Because if he's going to fight Canelo Alvarez, who is now a free agent, he's going to get paid very well. So he doesn't have to have to.
I just want to stop everybody here. I just want to stop you there because this is very detrimental. That he's not taking it slow. He just had a huge accident and he's going in with a Danny Garcia. You guys are not.
But we're not talking.
You have to
let's
give
not
Errol
start
Spence
bleeding
a lot
over
of credit.
Accident.
You got to give him a lot of credit. He's not going in for just a stupid tune-up fight. He's going in with Danny Garcia, and we don't even know after his accident, is he 100% the same?
But we're not talking about the what ifs and all that. We're not even saying this fight is not even close to happening. We're having a dialogue about potentials. This is not anything certain. He hasn't even faced Danny Garcia yet, bro. You're getting a little bit too you're getting a little bit too wrapped up in the moment.
But he's fighting December the 5th.
You acting like we are saying this fight is happening in February. We never said that. We never said this fight is happening in February or anything. We're just putting it out there that, okay, if Canelo's a free agent, who are his potential opponents? And look, he's stepping in there with Garcia. Hypothetically, let's just give a take that he makes this happen. He gets the win with Danny Garcia, who's coming off a loss to Sean Porter, right? So therefore, I mean, we ain't gonna forget Adrian Granados, but we'll leave that alone. The toughest opponent, Sean Porter, right? So he gets it done against freaking Danny Garcia. He can freaking fight. He can fight Canelo Alvarez near the end of goddamn 2021.
No, he can't, bro. You can't.
Check this out.
Disagree.
Check this out. You don't know how he's gonna look. You're talking about him coming back from an accident, and you don't even know how he's gonna look. You assuming the worst. You can't do that. You can't assume the worst. We're not talking about right now, right here. We don't know how Errol Spence is gonna look, but you and everybody else understands that he was in a car accident. We know that. You don't know that man's body. You wasn't there changing, anything. You wasn't there. They wasn't texting you and saying, okay, Errol Spence is okay. Okay, he's eating a bowl of broccoli today. Okay, we're feeding him some Campbell soup. No, you wasn't getting the play-by-play action. Kalua said, "Good, you last day of chemo for this cycle. So the next 2 weeks I'll be at. Good, you last day of chemo. How you feeling, brother? Okay. World Rap 154 might be too much for Earl. Got too many dangerous fighters that would be a good place for him to prove himself before he moved up to 160. I agree. It would be a good place, but I don't think it'll be too much because, like I said, his first 3 fights was at 54. Look it up. His first 3 fights was at 54. It's not like he's never fought at 54. It's not like Sean Porter never fought at middleweight. I mean, you have to dig deep back into the box rec.
Hey, that's where I agree with World Combat. Let me just tell the chat. I do agree with World Combat all the way there because Errol Spence, I do see him beating a J-Rock. I can see him beating, what's that guy who just lost to Jamel Charlo? What's his name?
Sergey Deryanchenko.
No,
Jason Rosario. Jason Rosario, bro.
Jason Rosario. And who's the other guy at 154 right now, apart from Jamel?
You talking about Erickson Lubin? Or you talking about another champion, Patrick Teixeira?
Yeah, I see Errol. If he takes 154 and goes in there slowly, I can see him beating all those guys. Carry on.
You see him beating Erickson Lubin?
Yeah, I see Errol beating Erickson Lubin. Yeah, I do. At 154.
Okay.
At 154.
All right. Okay. I mean, I can't say less because see how people are giving Errol Spence. You're now giving him the potential to beat Erickson Lubin at 54, but yet you were saying, "Hey, he hasn't fought Danny Garcia. He's coming off accident."
No, that's if he's that's if he's really good against Danny Garcia, and he does, and he makes a good account of himself. Yes,
exactly. That's what I'm saying, Rap Star. Yeah. You got to work with me, man. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah. I mean, we can't predict the future. We can't predict the future, but in 5 weeks, we'll have the answer for everyone. In 5 weeks.
But check this out, though. Just because we can't predict doesn't mean we can't talk about it. You know, that's what life is. We could talk about projected ideas and hypotheticals and all that other shit. We can talk about it.
Yeah, but everybody got a little bit shocked when you said that you expect you don't mind
saying everybody.
Yeah, but a lot of people
stop saying it. You're trying to influence my live
90% of the chat. They said World Combat.
Stop doing that, man.
Come on, brother. We can, you know, they did. You got everybody in shock.
Stop doing that, man. Stop acting like you're taking a roll call of everybody's damn feedback in the live chat. Stop that shit, dog. Man, you're funny, dog.
Hey, we've had a good listen. We've had a good cooking over here. We got a lot of people interested in this cooking. But what I'm saying is, World Combat, you got to appreciate. You had everybody a bit shocked. You did.
No, you got to stop abusing the word everybody, Rap Star. I got to move on to the comments. You got to stop saying.
Yeah, let's move on to the comments.
Because you encompass
90%. You had
hell no, it ain't no 90%. It's more like 2.5. It's like 2.5%, man.
No way, 90%. All right, carry on. Let's keep reading.
Ain't going to 154. He wants a payday and a payout. Only person who can give him that is Manny or Canelo. I agree. You got them Manny Pacquiao and Canelo. I agree with them being high price, tickets for him to get that money. Spence and Charlo have the same trainer. Of course, Spence and Charlo have Derrick James. So, I think it was somebody in the chat or, Rapstar might have mentioned that. No, somebody in the chat mentioned that Spence is not going to really move up to 54 with Mel Charlo still in the division. And then I mentioned earlier about him taking the fight at 60. And then all the precipitated hail and firestorm came down and said, oh, God, it'll be too much. But if Canelo wants to fight at 60, he's making a weight cut. He's making a weight cut to come back down from 75 to 60 himself. So he's going to have to be healthy for that fight. And Spence will be moving up to 160. So it's really, they cancel each other out both ways because in combat sports, it's all about the challenge when it comes down to it. So if Canelo is coming down from 75 to 60, he's making a drastic cut too.
But you didn't say that. You
I
said
didn't
that.
have
You
to
said
say
that.
it because we're
No, but
talking
you
boxing.
said
I expect you
no.
to
But the
know it.
reason why hell came loose is because you said then he should go back down to 147 and challenge the
Correct.
Pacquiao's and the Terence Crawford. And
Correct. Because
and
he can fight.
90% of
Bro, you're
90% of me
you're
in
not
the
putting
chat,
everything together, man.
we turned around
Rap
and
star,
said
listen
that
to me.
wouldn't be good. We said that
Rap
wouldn't be
star,
good
listen
for
to
him.
me. Listen to me, Rap star. You are not a universal doctor. You are not the Gandhi, bro. You're not. When you look at this, you have to understand that Spence, the amount of money that he would get paid with Canelo, he only has to fight once in 2021 and then come back in 22 and fight at welterweight. He doesn't
Okay.
need 2
Do you
fights.
want me to ask the chat again the same question?
It doesn't make a difference who you ask. I'm telling you that logically, anybody who knows 12 months in a year, you go through an 8 to 10 week fight camp. He comes out of this fight with Danny Garcia. He looks good. He steps in the ring with Canelo Alvarez in October, November of 2021.
Worst thing
That's
he can
ample
ever
amount
do.
of time.
Worst thing he can ever
Look,
do.
check this out. This is ample amount of time for him to lose that weight, to come back down to 47, to fight Bud Crawford if he chooses to. That's one fight in that year.
Nah, that's the worst thing Spence can do, bro.
You don't know how Spence's body is. He's coming. Look, this is the same person who had an accident and he left the hospital and he sent out a text and say, no broken bones. I'm a savage. Moving on. Logic, after the car crash, thinks Spence should take it slow. Canelo can do the same. Big facts. Are they real friends? Mitch say, are they real friends? Mitch trying to cause chaos in the freaking Spence camp. Talking about, are they real friends? And oh, no, he said, and they're real friends. I got you. My fault. Like say, Danny, only big knockouts at welterweight was Granados and Maldonado. Yeah, he stopped Granados his last fight, I believe. And he's the first one to do it, but that's no big deal. I mean, I consider him to go in there and stop Brandon Rios the same way. It wasn't no big deal. I don't know what Osman saying, big facts. There go your 1% there, Rap Star. Osman agrees with you on something, but I still stand firm on what I'm talking about. Fight, Danny Garcia is taking it slow as it pertains to Canelo fight at 160. Mitch, good boxers at 154. Hurd is at 54, and Hurd is still a contender, but we don't know where Hurd head is at. I seen Hurd in person. I talked to him. I mean, I don't know, man. It just seems like something's different about the former unified champion. Seriously, it just seems like he's not sure himself. He gave us the impression that he was going to move up to 60, and then he decided to stay down to 54. His last fight, he looked okay, but we'll see, man. Jared Hurd, 154 is a waste of time for Earl. No money. Just look at Charlo doubleheader. Now look at what Kalua said. Look at what Kalua said. And I'm thinking of a big money fight with Canelo Alvarez, right? He says 154 is a waste of time for Earl. No money. No money. And that makes all the sense in the world. Errol Spence at this stage of his career, at where he's at, on the top pound for pound list, he won big money fights. I'm not sure why that's not something easy to understand. Who is he going to fight at 54? So guess what? Who was Mikey Garcia going to fight at 40 outside of Sergey Lipinets for a big money fight that he was going to get with Errol Spence? Nobody. That's the answer. You guys think a girl can beat Tony Harrison? You guys think a girl can beat Tony Harrison? J-Rock, Hurt, and Rosario. I'm not sure what that is. I mean, Spence. I think Lubin. This is Erickson Lubin. I think Lubin needs more fights before challenging for a title. He has had since his knockout. He's been working his way back up. He defeated Nathaniel Gallimore. But I know you're probably going to say, well, Nathaniel Gallimore just got stopped by Sebastian Fundora. That was the first time he got stopped. That was the first time he got stopped by Sebastian Fundora, man. First time he got stopped in his career. So I'm not shocked at all. If Spence was just now logic is getting deep. If Spence was my son, you can't say that, dog. Damn it. Okay, you might be looking at my age. If Spence was your son and survived horrific, would you want him to get a tune-up bout, or a Danny G comeback? It's all about okay, you putting it from a family perspective. Let's just put it in his father. Everybody I talked to about Spence returning to the ring is that his father wouldn't allow him to return to the ring unless he was 100%. That's the word. His team, his family would not allow Spence to return to the ring unless he was 100% capable of going in there and getting it done, contending. So I'm going off what that was said. That is out there too. That is in the interview. So regardless if he's my son or not, I will have to look at the conversations that we may have. I have to look at his physical, his recovery process. How's his mechanics coming along? What notes are being taken? What problems is he having? And then once he's able to move around and get mobile in the gym and run, how's his form looking when he's running? Does he look like the same guy that was out on the street jogging before? How does he look when he's shadow boxing? It's so many variables you have to take notes on in order for me to say, all right, Spence is A1. Let's get him back into the gym. We're not going to do any sparring, but we're going to start putting him through some strength and conditioning. I mean, it's too many variables to go through, man. It would hurt Spence to add to his legacy to take Charlo at 54. I don't think he will fight Mel Charlo at 54. I mean, they're just too good of friends, man. It's not happening. It is not happening. Seriously, that is not happening. I don't see Canelo fighting at 54 again. No. We never mentioned Canelo at 54, and Canelo is probably never coming down to 54 right now. Not with all the money he's making. It's sad what happened to Hurd. I thought he was going to become one of boxing's biggest superstars. I did too. I really thought that Hurd was gonna beat J-Rock that fight and then go on to try to unify the division. I really thought he was a monster. I thought he was a weight bully. I really thought Hurd was a big deal, real talk. And then, when I talked to him at the casino, I'm not gonna go too depth in conversation, but it just seems like, man, he wasn't really about, trying to explain what his goals were. Was he planning on staying at 54, or was he going up to 60? What's the big secret? Spence is trying to subtly tell the world that Danny is the tune-up fight. Yeah, he's trying to. He's trying to convince, but we know Danny Garcia still has, stock in the game. He still has that durability, or he still has enough appraisal to be considered a top name. So people won't say Spence going in there and fighting a soft touch. You know what I'm saying? Fighting somebody that's easy. We're talking about Danny Garcia. People still believe Danny Garcia has knockout power. Even though the guy he knocked out was a tailor-made freaking style for him to knock out. Just like Brandon Rios was, just like freaking Adrian Granados was. It was a freaking easy style for him to knock them out. Oh, I know it's fake accounts on here. I know. And I like for them putting in their hard work. But guess what? You won't be back on replay. You can frolic around in the chat, but no one heard you. Leave Hurd alone. He has a new trainer and learning to box. I respect him way more. He's taken one step back to 2 steps forward and prolonged his career. I wish him the best, man. I wish him the best. Danny, a solid fighter for sure. Yeah, I look forward to seeing that happen. You know what I'm saying? What do y'all think about that fight, man? Rap Star, give me your take on Danny Garcia, and give me your take on that. Danny Garcia and Errol Spence. Do you think it's gonna go the distance? Do you believe if Errol Spence comes in here and has a good showing, and he goes the distance but take adversity, people will be like, well, He's not the same Errol Spence. What is it going to take for Errol Spence to prove to the people that he's the old Errol Spence that we've seen fight Sean Porter?
I mean, what I take from all of this is, first of all, I admire Errol Spence right now because he's keeping the momentum alive. What you guys and the chat needs to realize is the reason why we're speaking a lot about Errol Spence is because we know that this fight was in tune without all this controversy and accidents and what's happened in his life. This fight was the next fight that we was going to fight. So just due to Errol Spence's momentum of how he's just taking this fight, letting the people know that he's the champion and he's the truth, I admire him to keep that momentum so strong on Errol Spence's banner, because now I'm not just only going to call him the truth. If he goes in there, and let me say it again, if he goes in there and displays a great performance and deals with Danny Garcia, I'm going to put him in the pound for pound in number 3. I don't care what anybody wants to come back at me at, but if he does a masterclass and if he stops Danny Garcia, I don't care what anybody says, he's definitely number 3. So hats off to Errol Spence for taking the fight. Danny Garcia's got a big chance in the fight. He had 40% chance for me before all this controversy. So I still give Danny a 40% chance in this fight due to his, even when he's lost, just remember this, he never lost like a chump. The fights could have gone either way with Keith Thurman, when Keith Thurman was at his best, and the Sean Porter, which Danny Garcia, a lot of people said won that fight. So let's just keep the hats off to Danny Garcia. He ain't no tune-up. He ain't no chump. He belongs in world level fights, and Errol's going to give it to him. And if Errol beats him, like I said, World Combat, he's going top 3 pound for pound. He's number 3.
For sure, man. For sure. Errol, so you lead Errol Spence fights a guy who lost to Sean Porter, who Errol Spence defeated, comes back around, and Errol Spence fight the guy who lost to the guy who he's defeated. He gets credit and move up a position in the pound for pound list for defeating the guy who lost to the toughest guy he defeated for the vacant title. How does he get credit? How does Danny Garcia gain credit off a loss? Adrian Granados didn't give him any more freaking, that didn't make any deposits into his account, Adrian Granados. So we have to go strictly off Sean Porter. So if Danny Garcia lost to Sean Porter and Sean Porter lost to Errol Spence and Errol Spence defeats Sean Porter, how does he move up on the pound for pound list? It's not for a belt. He's defending his WBC belt and IBF title. So how does he move up on the pound for pound list? I just want to know.
Are you asking me that?
Anybody in the chat?
Okay, I'll tell you where he moves up for me.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I'm telling you, you have to hear what my words are. My words, when I use words, I know anyone can come back at me. If he gives a dominant performance to Danny Garcia and he stops him, he goes to
Speak Major Key.
Okay, if he stops Danny Garcia and he does a performance on Danny Garcia that I've never seen, that I will put him up to that number 3 because of just his performance. Back to back, he has tough fights. And he never avoids any smoke. And at 147, he shows me that nobody can compete with him. He's just a man. Simple. He becomes number 1 of 147 welterweight anyway. He's the number 1 guy. Let's get that straight. Are you there, World Combat?
Yeah, I'm listening. I was letting you cook, bro.
Yeah, so basically, it's just the performance means everything to me. And it's all about Errol Spence. Is the old Errol Spence back? Is that Errol Spence back who's fighting with no money? No money. He's not going in this for the money. He going in this to show you what he was about. When he came over to England and he took it from Kell Brook, he didn't just beat Kell Brook. He took Kell Brook's soul in that fight. Errol Spence is a man, yeah? He can put elite fighters into a position where they start folding up and wishing they weren't in the ring with him. Is that old Errol back? Because if he is, the sky's the oyster for him. And let me tell you, Errol Spence Jr. has a chance to make himself the pound for pound #1 guy in the world. And the only reason I say that, I give him more credibility if he goes up slowly, and I give him a better chance of beating Canelo if he goes up slowly and keeps himself slowly going up in weight than the twins, than the Charlo brothers. You heard it here first. Errol Spence is a fighter. If he goes up slowly in weight, he can become the pound for pound #1 guy. And that's just the old Errol I remember when he was coming as a dog.
But the dilemma was not how fast he goes up in weight. You're worried about his declivity once it's time for him to rejoin the welterweight division. That was your concern.
You heard what I said. If he goes up slowly and he becomes a 154 champion, and then he comes up slowly and becomes a 160-pound champion, he becomes a pound for pound guy in boxing. Errol Spence will leave this game as a legacy fighter. All right? But he has to do this slowly. He cannot go up and drastically come back down and expect to go up again and play with his career. That would
How
not
can you
help
say?
him.
How can you say what an athlete can and cannot do when in different sports athletes have basically challenged their bodies
I'm not
to
saying he cannot. It's not impossible, but I'm saying that it will be that will be the wrong way to do
No,
it.
I'm holding you to your word, rap star. You giving these guys medical freaking deadlines, like you have an ultimatum for them what they can and cannot do. And I'm telling you, I've seen sports much worse than them dropping, 14 pounds.
Well, just like I said, what I've just said about Errol Spence, you can read some messages. I just got to do something, and I'll come back to the chat. But like I told you, if he goes up slowly, it will be better for him than to do it that way and go up slowly, one weight at a time, unify the weight, and then come for a Canelo fight at 2022. Then he has a good chance in that fight to win it. But see what the chat's saying.
Chat. I'm trying to entertain my babies. The little kids that drop by. That's in the background. Looking for their chaperone. Hypothetically, if Spence loses, where does he go from here? Or if he gets slept, where do you see his career? Get slept is a big what if he gets slept. That's a big deal.
I mean, who are you asking? Are you asking Rapstar this question?
No, I'm reading.
Yeah, well, I can answer that question. We've never ever expected that for Errol Spence. Are they asking if Errol Spence gets slept? Is that what they just asked us?
Yeah, they say if Spence loses, where do you go from there? Or if he gets slept, where do you see his career?
Yeah, but but listen, this guy who's asking the question, they're two different questions altogether.
Yeah.
if he loses slightly, Errol Spence, all right, well,
he's saying if he loses, he can lose via decision.
Yeah, if he loses via decision, okay,
if he gets knocked out, that's different.
Yeah, if he gets knocked out, then that's a whole different game. That credibility goes down in folds. You know what I mean? But he's still in the game. But what I'm saying is, if he loses as a unanimous decision, he got a rematch in the contract. He can come back and win. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So listen, that's a different question. The other one, if he gets slept, then they're going to have to reanalyze his career. They're going to have to see what's gone wrong. We never expected him to ever be slept by a fight like Danny Garcia. We've known Errol's got a proven chin. He's got a proven force. He's an A+ fighter. We know where he's at the 147. He's the #1 guy. So, if he gets slept, then they have to reanalyze his whole career again. You might not even take a rematch. You never know what could happen. So it's a whole different question. You know what I mean, World Combat?
Yeah, it's a two-part question, but they pretty much talk about the same thing.
Yeah, let's get to the next one.
He can lose and getting slept is two different ways to determine whether he should fight next. If this is their king, tank with those low numbers is the cash cow? Status held to the whatever. Danny G is not Porter. Rate Spence skills about Danny. Spence jab is whatever. Exactly unified welterweight. Unified
Stop there.
154.
Spencer's got a great jab, good jab when he wants to use it.
Yeah, Spence has a
So I don't
damn
know
good
who the fuck is saying that, man. But Spencer got a good jab. When he wants to use the jab, he can use that good. He got a strong jab.
160 champion is pound for pound. Showing the beat. Top competition at different weight classes. Legacy fights money. Exactly. Unified welterweight, unified 54, 160 champion. I'm not sure who you're talking about unifying. 54, 160 champions pound for pound, showing he beat top comp. Different weight classes. 2022 is not moving slowly. That gives Spence 1 year to become champ at
Oh,
50.
so that guy agrees with me. Respect. What's his name?
No, he don't agrees with you. He's just saying 2022 is not moving slowly.
Yeah, that's what I said.
2022. Uh, Check this out. If he fight one time in 2021 and then fights again in 2022, he have 12 months to pick a fight date. People, you're not picking it January 1st, right after freaking New Year's Day, and say, you know what, I gotta have the fight on the 8th of January. Let's get it. 2022 is not moving slowly. That gives Spence 1 year to become champ 54 and 60. Heyman is GOAT if he can get that done. I seriously don't think Spence is gonna fight at 54 unless it's a pretty decent name. That's a moneymaker. Some of these guys are just stricken big money. That's all they're doing. Hey, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hey,
What's up, man?
Yeah, I got a question for you. How old is Errol Spence?
Errol Spence is about 30 years old, man.
Is he about to be 31, right? Right, Rapstar?
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
around that.
hey, Kalua, shout out to you.
All right, shout out to you too. And congrats on the $50 you won for me. It is what it is.
you all right this Friday, Kalua? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right.
What you gonna cook on, man? Let's go.
Okay, Rapstar. Errol Spence is I think he's 31 or is about to turn 31. You're acting like he has all this time in the world. He's 31. A boxer's prime ends around 32. So in your world, he should have had CANELO who's like 33, 34 years old. Is that what you're trying to do?
I don't know where you're coming with this energy, bro. We're having a great conversation. We were just cooking.
Well, I'm trying to get facts, underlined before we proceed.
Yeah, so don't talk like an investigator. I'm going to tell you very nicely and very easily that basically. No, relax.
I think he's pretty low monotone, rap star. Just engage in the dialogue.
Such an easy conversation. Yeah. At the end of the day,
I've never known you to be easy, and I never known Kalua to be easy.
Yeah, because there's no point going. It's no point making a big thing out of it. It's simple. If he goes up 2 weights and fights CANELO and comes back down, and even if he's 31 years old, it wouldn't help his career where he's only got 2-3 years left. If he goes up slowly and he works the weight, I'm not going to repeat myself again and again. And he works the weight and he stays at that weight composed and he beats credible people and credible champions, his fight when he goes up for CANELO, then he doesn't need to look back and going down in weight, especially after 31 years old. It'll be better for him to just go up slowly and stay on that weight and compose at that weight. That's all it is.
Okay, so you keep on saying slowly. Why don't you give us a timeline? How many years we're talking about?
I mean, depends. If he gets the fight what he needs after Danny Garcia, and he gets the fights that he needs, and he doesn't need to do nothing at 147, he can go up after fighting a Pacquiao or trying to get Crawford, and then 2022 he can go up in weight. That's it.
You go up to the weight to what? 154 or 160?
I mean, I think by that time Jamel Charlo will move up, and Errol they'll make way for Errol at 154, and he'll probably have to, compose himself at 154, and just do some great things at 154, and then come to 160 maybe at the end of 2022. That's how I see it. And then, do you know what? He's done it the right way. He's been 33 years old by then. And then when he goes to 160, you know what? He got a good chance to win against the champion there because he's gone up slowly and he's methodically gone up to 160.
Oh, so he fights the champion, then he fights Canelo.
What are you trying to say?
So you're saying he at age 33, he fights the champion at 160, and then he fights Canelo. At like what 34?
I think he'll be 33 by then. I think that's still a good age for him because I don't see him fighting after 35. I think he got a good 4 years ahead of him. So he can make the most of it and he can, bite it as he goes. So that's it. I mean, there's no big deal. I don't know why the rush is. I don't know why people want to see him do it tomorrow. And at the end of the day, this conversation is better for the fighter. This conversation is better for the stability of the fighter for his last few years of this career. So what else do you want to say different to that?
Let's see. You say was the best of the fighter. Let's see. If he's fighting he's fighting other people at age 33, which is past his prime, isn't he at risk of losing a fight? And if he loses that fight, he loses Canelo. You think that's best for him?
I don't know what you're getting at, and I don't know what kind of a story you want to pull a little feather out of. What I've said,
he said,
what
pull a little feather out.
What I said to you is something systematically better for Errol Spence's career. That at this point, at his last few years, he should enjoy the weight and move up slowly every 7 pounds, and therefore he'll be great competing at 160 when he gets there. So what else do you want to say to that?
That your timeline makes no sense for Errol Spence. He's gonna literally look like in his 30s, which he's already in. You're putting
Your conversation doesn't make no sense for Errol Spence already the way that you started it.
Okay.
Because
I don't interrupt you.
What you're trying to say, yeah.
Hey,
what you come on this platform, You've come on this platform to tell me that what I've just told you doesn't make sense for Errol Spence. So you tell us what makes sense for Errol Spence. First, tell us that.
I would if you let me speak. When you're speaking, say
it with good focus and.
That's just the way. That's just the way Leo talks. There, Ref Star. Let him speak.
Ref Star. But he don't mean what he's saying.
Take him on it once he's done. Go ahead, Kalua.
Okay, so your whole premise is, he's gonna stay at 154 for a little while. He's already 30, so he'd be 32 when he hits 154. He's gonna win. He's gonna solidify the division. So that's winning at least 2 titles. That's 2 fights minimally at 154. But the issue is, if Jermell leaves, he'll have literally a Crawford sort of thing where he'll win a belt off of nobodies. So right now we have Crawford.
We're not talking about what belt he's going to win if Jermell leaves. We're going to say what's better for Errol Spence. Stop trying to turn it around. Killia, if you're going to come here and challenge me, start speaking facts because you ain't speaking facts. You're saying if this is not going to be good for Jermell Charlo. Fuck Jermell Charlo. Talk about Errol Spence. Stop going off the subject.
You need to stop interrupting people and saying it off when you're talking about
you're changing around and wasting this conversation. Me and World Combat, we're having a great conversation without challenges. In a challenge, which that you're trying to say something which makes no sense.
First off, you're a moron because when you talk about the future.
Okay, so now that's where I'm in your feelings because you've turned around and become disrespectful on World Combat Show, calling me a moron. So I'm already in your feelings. Okay, no. Listen. I'm in your feelings. I'm in your feelings now. So carry on cooking because now you're gonna trip yourself up and wish you never spoke against Rap Star.
You interrupt and I'll be
loud. I'm in your feelings.
Carry on. Right? Hey, one at a time, fellas. One at a time.
Well, I'm in his feelings, so he has to carry on, and then I'll cook him. Then I'm gonna cook him like a pot.
You don't like it. You don't like it. You don't like it.
Look, I'm having fun.
You don't like it.
Listen, this is Rap Star's always having fun.
You don't like it. You don't like it.
So okay, World Combat.
You don't like it. You don't like it. You don't like it. You don't like it.
What are you doing?
Does he want to talk IQ? or does he want to talk bullshit? To ask him, World Combat.
Good Lord, are you talking boxing? What we doing?
I'm trying to talk boxing, but some guy doesn't know how to not interrupt.
Look, talk properly, and don't talk about Jamal Charlo's feelings.
Hey,
don't talk about Jamal Charlo's feelings. Stick with the point.
You know why? Because it's very disrespectful to interrupt people when they're talking.
Well, you shouldn't have come here and made a fool out of yourself.
Oh, you made a fool out of yourself. Interrupt people like that.
We all know you made a fool out of yourself. But look,
you're a moron. You're a moron. That's why you lost all that money. That's why you lost all that money in the Loma fight. Because you're a moron.
This much that you are that stupid to come
and
you are that
stupid. You're right. You are that stupid.
Yourself.
You are that
stupid.
Let me tell you one thing. How much money did you lose to
the next fight? The next fight that happens, I want to win your money now because you wasted my time. I like World Combat. He's a proper man.
You don't like
respectful man.
So upset.
I have to let you know, man.
World Combat is a very respectful man. That's why I'm here. But you, next time there's a fight, I'm going to take your money.
Because when you
take your money for wasting my time.
I allowed you to talk. You know who's not being respectful. When you were talking,
World Combat. Let's carry on cooking.
Hey, let him speak, Rapstar. Rapstar, let him speak, man. I just want to hear what you got to say. Go ahead, Khalil.
Okay. During his timeline, okay, right now, Errol Spence is getting closer to 31 than he is 30. So he's going to fight. And Rapstar's, if Rise with Judgment, he's going to fight Ryan Garcia. He still has to fight at least one more fight, which is going to be Crawford, because he was talking about how Spence wanted to unify all the belts. Well, he's sort of missing 2. So that's at minimum 2 more fights. And that'll be all next year. So we have 32. Then he's going to win a 154 at age 33. Then he has to win a couple of belts. He has to solidify the division. He wants to be a multi-division, unified champion. So he needs to be 2 belts. So now we're looking at what? Age 34 when he finally gets 160. Then he has to solidify there. So he has to win at least 1 belt. And we're talking about now we're talking age 35 when he finally gets to fight CANELO. We've seen all that time, he cannot lose a single fight because once he loses that one fight, his value to CANELO is gone. He's worthless and he's not gonna get the fight. He's not gonna get his payday. It's just not gonna happen, which is why that time.
Dude, I'm letting this guy talk, but he makes no sense. But carry on.
Oh, okay, whatever. Okay, pretty much his whole thing during that time. Another issue is gonna arise is he's gonna have the Crawford issue, where once it goes to 154, by that point, baby Charlo, which is the good Charlo, is gonna move up to 160. When that happens, the competition at 154 is gonna be lower opposition, where people aren't gonna respect it. Just like with Crawford, pretty much wipe the floor, with 140. People are like, well,
I just think he wants to come here just to talk. This guy's making no sense for the Errol Spence conversation, bruv. If you just want to have a conversation with us, let's talk, but don't talk shit then.
How is anything I said talking shit?
Man,
he made some good points. Hey, Rapstar, he made some good points though, man.
No, but he's making no good points, bro. Look, even Logic.
Bro,
I'm
listening to what he's saying. I'm trying to see where he's getting at.
Yeah, but look at what Logic said. It doesn't make sense going up that many weights, even and coming back down and playing with your career like that when you've only got.
You got to understand that you're talking to somebody who actually did comeback sports, and somebody who's just
at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, his argument is his opinion with what he's saying, and there's no facts in his opinion because the facts say that if you move up slowly, it's better for your career because you're much more stable in fighting the fight that you're going to fight by the time you get to 160. And then you don't need to look back at moving back in weight so much so that can hurt or detriment your career. That's just a consistent flow of great fighters in how they should perform in the way that they should be fighting those greater fights if you want longevity of the sport. But if you want a certain situation where he just takes things for money, then yeah, say it that way. But it's not better for Errol Spence. That's all I'm saying. So when you keep coming at this conversation to try and show me that you're showing me facts, you ain't showing me shit. So if you just want to come in and talk to us, that's a different story, bro. But he can't come in and say, oh, Rapstar saying this wrong. Rapstar saying that right. You're making yourself look stupid, World Combat. It's simple as that.
Tell me one thing that did not say that was not factual, especially about his age.
Bro, it's exactly because of his age at being at 131. He's only got 36 months. This kid has only got 36 months to achieve greatness.
You there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here, bro. You can hear me?
Yeah, man. So,
I can
you know,
hear
it's
you.
good that, look, I'm the one who cooked it up with World Combat. I'm the one who's got this conversation.
Rap star, we good. Rap star, calm down, bro. It's
Yeah, so
Friday,
don't
man.
come here and try and
Hey,
be disrespectful. to
I'm
me.
sending a
Yeah,
drink.
but don't
I'm
call me a
sending a
clown.
drink
World
your way,
Combat.
Rap star.
World Combat. The World Combat. When I'm on your channel, we're grown men. Don't call me a clown and get in your feelings and be disrespectful and expect me to talk to him nicely now. Do you understand? You
I
get
didn't say you to
respect out
talk
of
to him
me.
nicely. I just asked for you to hear him out. I never said talk to him nicely.
No, because you're a grown man. I got a lot of respect for you. You know how to talk to somebody without getting in your feelings, even if we're right and wrong. But these kind of guys, when they come in their feelings and start being disrespectful, you start not to want to talk to them in boxing. Get the fuck off of it.
Yo, if I could just make a quick point, because I need to hop off because my battery's getting drained right now. I know
My
these
bad,
shows,
my bad, Major.
I know. It's not your fault, bro. They do that shit to me on all the channels, bro.
Bunch of roaches out there.
Yeah, man.
What up, Major Key? What up?
Chilling, man. They use my name, and then people don't even know if it's me or if it's them. You know what I mean? Like I know how it is, bro. But listen, man. That's why though. I mean, just hit me up on my email, like majorkeyboxing@gmail.com. So that way, like whenever you go on live or something, just hit me up, and I'll let you know when it's really me. You know what I mean? That's what I do with all the major channels. You know what I'm saying?
So what are you doing now? Where's your channel going to be live next?
Man, you know, I'm in the middle of movement. Well, I just finished moving. I'm not saying I still haven't unpacked everything, but I bet that's what's been going on since the Loma fight. I gave my prediction for that, and I haven't been live since, only because I've been in the middle of moving. My son's over here on vacation from his mother's house. You know what I mean? Like you know, all this shit's going on. You know, it's just a lot of shit going on, man. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely plan to you know, I was going through a hiring process with a company, you know, so you know, everything should be settled by early this week, because I'm gonna drop off my son on Sunday, and then by Monday, Tuesday, you know, I should be back to normal. But anyway, let me make a quick point, because all you brothers on the panel right now, I love all of you. I know everybody's gonna always have conflicting you know, opinions, and shit gets heated. You know what I'm saying? I've kind of learned that from YouTube in the last year and a half, you know. And at first I didn't know, you know, I used to get pissed off at people and shit like that. But, you know, I kind of like just toned it down. I don't really like to argue with people like that unless it's one of these trolls.
You know what it's like, Major Key. We go with the energy. Like when you show greatness and we can have some good banter, then we go with that energy. But if you become disrespectful, then we become that energy. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but I also know Killer Wild for being like he jumps off real quick. You know what I mean? He just goes in. You know what I mean? But I also know you, and I know that you're a stand-up dude. But you know, other people have questions about you, and you know what I'm saying. But you've already proven yourself to me in World Combat. You paid World Combat. You know what I'm saying? You threw that money at Punch.
Thank you.
That we bet. You know what I mean?
Respect on my name. Thank you.
We know you're a stand-up guy. You know what I'm saying? But at the same token, you know, Killer Wild's been around since shit. I started on YouTube too. You know what I mean? And a lot of panels respect him as well. And I respect the dude. You know, so, but anyway, look, that's between you guys. You guys are hash it out. I'm pretty sure you guys are hash it out. Once you guys see each other on the same panels over and over and over and over, you'll squash it. But anyway, going back to the Spence CANELO fight, at the beginning of this whole stream, I said, you know, that it's a pipe dream. And the reason why is that all the stars are going to need to align properly for that to happen. And the reason why is because it's not only about Spence moving up. Keep in mind, we're talking about him moving up to 160. I believe that CANELO wants to settle at 168. He went up to 175. He skipped over the 168 division. He's going to want to make that fifth division at 168, and he's probably going to want to unify to add another crease, you know, another wrinkle to his game. You know what I mean? And that's what I think he wants to do, and that's why he's calling out a Plant, because Plant has a belt. And I think he will. Plant is probably the most technically sound at 168 right now. You know what I mean? Callum Smith is a tough dude. Billy Joe Saunders is a tough dude. You know, and if Jamal Charlo decides to come up, I feel like it should be for the WBC belt that was vacated when this dude decided to eat too much. You know what I'm saying? David Benavidez. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so what you're saying is that you don't think Canelo's going to be at 160 anymore.
I don't think he wants to move down at that weight. I really don't. Like, because if you already knocked a solid guy out at 175, regardless of what people say, Kovalev was solid, bro. You know what I mean? And you know, he knocked him out. You know what I mean? And so if he moved up and did that at 175, and then probably figured, hey man, this guy was tough at 175. Maybe he was a little too heavy. Let me move back down one weight class, and to see how my power translates there. I think he wants to unify at 168. That's what I think he wants to do. And remember, he's not getting any younger, man. I mean, he's already learned from the master himself with Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Like he's already learned. He's already been schooled. He's not going to be trying to play these games. He's trying to look for legacy right now. You know.
So you think that the Errol Spence fight is just bullshit? It's never going to happen.
I mean, it's a lot of stars have to align properly for that to happen. I'm not going to say that it's impossible, but I'm going to say it's highly unlikely. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to say that.
Hey, Glenn, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
What bigger name? I mean, to me, what name is bigger at 168 than Errol Spence?
At 168?
Yep. Tell me one name that's bigger than Errol Spence at 168.
Well, Canelo. What do you mean?
Besides Canelo, I mean, Canelo can fight. Who Canelo fight? That's a bigger name at 168 than Errol Spence.
But you see, Errol Spence is not at 168. So you know what I mean? Like with that, if you're asking me that question, I would say Caleb Plant because Spence has not fought at 168.
No, but that's what we're talking about. 160. There's no name at 168 that's a bigger name for Canelo's resume than, if you take all the guys at 168, none of their names is as big as Errol Spence's.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I get that point that you were trying to make with that. But what I'm saying is that he hasn't fought there, and I think that their meeting ground is at 160, and I don't think Canelo's going to move down to 160. Is my point.
Yeah, but he would for an Errol Spence fight because that fight would act as legacy.
But if Jamal Charlo moves up, right, from 160, right, that's a bigger fight. If Triple G moves up to 168, you know what I mean?
God, please don't mention Triple G name, please.
No, it's facts though, man. Come on, man. Like he only lost against fucking Canelo, bro. Like it's the same thing that people look down on.
He lost to Sergey Narianchenko too. They gave him the IBF title.
I mean, you know what I'm saying on paper, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying, like, because Mayweather, let's be honest, he didn't win 50-0. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, so we
did. He beat a 0-0 non-boxer mixed martial arts.
That's me going down a rabbit hole, Alice in Wonderland type of shit, bro. Like that conversation will never end. You know what I'm saying? Those are all type of you know what I mean? Like, I
never understand Major Key about that record with Rocky Marciano 49-0 is that Rocky was in a totally different weight class, man. And it's been other guys out there that go way past 49-0 before they took their first loss.
Yeah, look at Chavez. But
Jimmy Wow, I mean all those people, man.
Yeah, and then look at how long before Sugar Ray Robinson lost. Even though he got a loss, then he went like 100 and something before he lost again.
Exactly.
Hey Glenn,
so I mean,
Charlo's a bigger name than Errol Spence
at the weight division. Is what I'm saying, brother. That's all I'm trying to say, Kilowatt, is, and I'm not gonna try to go down the rabbit hole with y'all because again my battery's draining. So I just wanted to make that quick point. But you guys, your rap star, Kilowatt, yeah, chill out, bro, because I like both of you guys, man. Both of you guys are educated. Both of you guys have points, man. You know what I mean? Just respectfully agree to disagree if you got to do that. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean?
Peace out, Major Key.
All right, brothers. Have a great night. I'm gonna see. I don't know if y'all know, and I hate to be plugging because I know you got pissed off at me the first time that I came over here, so I'm not gonna say the name. But yo, there's a Free Smoke Friday on another channel. You know that, right? In a little bit.
What? Now?
Where is it?
No, it's not on
yet.
Man,
it's already been over there. You talking about Punch Drunk Channel? It's all, man. That's all good, bro.
No, Black and Brown. Black and Brown.
Oh,
Black and Brown, right?
I might be on there short. Are you going on there?
Yeah. You know that shit is lit on Free Smoke Fridays whenever he does it because
I don't mind some of that free smoke.
Got himself. He rarely goes on Fridays. But
the rap star be over there. He'll be already smoking. So get ready. Somebody find me.
I just got the notification. As I was saying that, I just got the notification, bro, and I gotta put my phone to charge a little bit. So, yo, peace out to you, brothers, man.
Okay.
But yeah, man, everybody easy, man. Everybody easy, yo.
Hey, you already know.
All right.
Hey,
Glenn.
World Combat.
Yeah, I'm here.
Man, did you see the weigh-in for Devin Haney? He looks shredded,
Yeah, he should look shredded. He fighting 135. I mean, what else he should look like?
Campbell look like Mike Garcia.
Yeah, how do you think Gamboa? I think Gamboa looks a bit soft.
Man, Gamboa looked the same way in Atlanta, man. He's good. He's not as dry as he
He
should
looks
be.
chubby. The guy look like a Teletubby.
He's not as dry as he used to be, but he still weighed the scales at 35, man. Y'all have to understand that. Like, it's different.
Yeah, but that's hamburger weight, not muscle weight. So Gamboa's gonna get knocked out.
If Gamboa want to come in at hamburger weight, he gonna find out how a hamburger get flipped, and Devin Haney's gonna do it.
Did you not see him? Did you not see his belly?
I did. I was up here showing the weigh-ins live as they happen.
Yeah, no, I saw Gamboa's pictures from your screen. You showed. I'm looking at Gamboa, and I'm like, look at that tub. Look at Teletubby.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know if he's a Teletubby.
I mean, he still looks like, he's in shape. He's just not the same fighter he was, right? World Comeback, he's just not the same fighter he was.
Exactly. We all know he's not the same fighter, but he's coming off a loss in December 2019, 12-round knockout of Javante. So this is just another bout for him, and Devin Haney should be able to get it done.
That wasn't a knock. That was a TKO.
Well, stoppage, TKO, yeah.
No, it does matter. Santa Cruz got knocked out.
Correct.
Noah got stopped, at a TKO. So
I was at
Yeah, you know why it matters?
I was at both fights. I understand, what the KO is. We appreciate it for clarification there, Kalua.
So let me ask you something, World Comeback. In England, when our fighters get TKO, they have to get suspended for a certain amount of time before they go back in the ring.
Same here.
Oh, is it the same?
Yeah, exactly.
So did he have to get suspended?
It's according to what your name is. It's according to what your name is.
Yeah, so he got suspended, right?
Yeah, you're supposed to get suspended, but it's according to what your name is in the sport of boxing as to how long they suspend you. Some fighters, I'm telling you, if it's a big fight, it's a big money fight, man, hey, you might be back a little bit ahead of time.
Right.
That's just the way it is. If you're a big name, you might be back a little bit shorter.
So basically, he's coming off of a loss like that with such an injury. What the fuck are we expecting from Gamboa, bro? Come on, let's be honest.
To get knocked out this time?
You should have asked Bill that when he was on there. You should have asked Bill that, but you was probably, scared to ask the question, ref.
When have I ever been fucking scared? Come on, World Comeback.
Just fucking with you, dog.
Okay, do you know that in the history of the game?
It's 12 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock on Saturday. I'm just fucking with you, dog.
Okay, but watch this one. I'm the only guy who got kicked off of another channel who sneakily went on there. There's about 13,000 views for it. Punch is the one who kept talking to me, and then you guys kept talking to me. Then I'm the only one who went and asked Bill Haney a direct question, and then everybody starts screaming down my throat. You forgot that?
Who? Me?
When I'm the one who asked Bill Haney.
Did I forget it? I wasn't over there.
Well, you remember, right? Because Punch does. I went to the.
I wasn't there though. How can I remember?
Okay, I'm gonna send you the link.
All right, welcome back, Sport. Thanks for having me, but gotta go.
I'm about to bounce too and check out this what they're talking about.
Well, I'm already ready for the free smoke, World Comeback.
I'm gonna check it out for the first time, man. And see what's popping.
Yeah, all right, brother. It's been amazing cooking with you. We got a lot of people involved today, dude. I mean, everyone had a lot of opinions, and it was great.
Yeah, I'm gonna read their last comments and everything, man. Show homage to the live chat.
For sure.
Appreciate you stopping through there, Ref Star.
Yeah, man. No, respect to you. You always cook it, even if we disagree. You're a gentleman. You have amazing ways, and that's why we talk to you very nicely, bro. You're a respectful guy.
Same to you, bro.
Yeah.
And make sure you pull up anytime, man.
Always, bro.
Listen,
when you're right, and I see somebody pull up on you, I'm coming straight away to defend you. Don't you worry about that.
Hey, you never responded with your email, man. So I can,
Okay, I'll respond to you.
Just send the email so I can know.
I already sent you an email before when I sent you the proof for them funds. Remember?
I thought you had sent was the email or was it a?
I sent you a picture and an email.
Okay.
Have a look. Just check it out because there's no other way to communicate to you. I ain't got your number, right?
Okay.
So I sent you an email before. But yeah, listen, we'll catch up soon, yeah, and we'll cook up some stuff. But let's see what this other channels about in a bit. I don't think
Yeah.
it's up yet. You got loads of messages constantly keep coming though.
Yeah, I'm about to read them now, man.
Okay. All right. Catch you later.
Got the Major Key. I don't see Canelo coming back down to 160. He's looking 68, 75. Canelo seeking legacy while he's bouncing around. Haney with big opportunity to show up. Tank. Well, it is going to be a one-up competition to go in there and finish in shorter fashion than what Gervonta Davis was able to do.
Yeah.
Of course. Rap star handle Kalua, though.
Oh,
Kalua's one of those guys who does ask a lot of questions, but some of these guys ask questions they never answer. You know what I'm saying? It's not a Q&A. It's not a Q&A. It's just like you want to A and Q with them because they ask questions over and over. They don't never answer them.
And not only that, World Combat, if somebody comes with an attitude, they want to give you smoke and try and decredit you, you better get ready to get de-smoked and get totally decredited if somebody's got, if they're right and they're strong. You know what I mean?
I agree, bro. You know what I'm saying? I agree.
Don't come to World Combat and speak to World Combat like an idiot and expect World Combat to carry you. They're going to destroy you as a man, as an intellectual man. You know what I mean?
It was a pleasure, man. I'm about to close out. Everybody, salute
Peace
to
out.
the panel. Everybody who stopped through. We
Yeah.
shall do this again.
And y'all don't forget to subscribe to Rapstar. Rapstar Knowledge has got his own channel coming. Subscribe to me. Like and subscribe to World Combat. Support him. He's the real one. I'm out. Goodbye.
Salute. Everybody that's over here, man, pass the word, man. Come support. I'll be covering the Devin Haney fight tomorrow. And I'm definitely kind of giving you a run by play-by-play of what's popping. So support, man. Support. I need for y'all to start filling up the live check like we did tonight. It's late, but be sure to stop through tonight for the Devin Haney fight card. He's taking on Yuriorkis Gamboa, man. I appreciate it. And by the way, turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports.